All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. The big show is on the radio. It's time. The Rob Brown Show is live right here on ESPN Upstate 97.7 FF Greenville 97.1 FM Spartanburg and all around the world on the radio.com app. I am Rob Brown. The pleasure is mine. Welcome in, y'all. Tremendous to be with you. Back in the network studio, pushing the buttons, switching the switches, making the show sound as good as it does always. The great one, Grudge, the Alpha, the Omega of ESPN Upstate. Hashtag Lonzo is at the mic. What up, Zoe? Other than whoever it was that worked last in the studio, just completely wrecked everything for you last night. What a jerk.
Including the camera. I mean, as you saw, I had to adjust the camera. I had to adjust. You know what? I don't know about you, but I'm still recovering from my foray into that show for men. Hopefully, you can shake that off by the week.
It took a lot out of you.
It did. I just opened up the show with this. He waited 5 months to finally get me on the air and ask me about that.
And I love. Absolutely love that he waited right until the end of the hour to do it, to make sure that he sent you riding off onto the sunset with that as your parting shot. Don't think, Mark Ryan, that I didn't recognize exactly what you were doing there. I'm not going to say if it worked or not. I'm just going to say I saw the play.
It was an excellent tactic. It really was. Classic tactic. And I commend him for that. But you and I had talked about show bets. I think even during that yesterday, I think we talked about it when maybe you were in on it. And you knew that he was going to do that.
Absolutely not.
And they were setting me. I mean, you could look at it that way. I said maybe. I'm not saying I believe that. And in the end, you make a bet, and I will pay up on the bet when he comes back to the building. That's just how that works.
I had nothing to do with it. For the record, listen. I know better than to stick my hand in the midst of a feud between two creatures with very sharp teeth. Mama didn't raise no fool. So I sat there over on the far corner of the studio, just chuckling away in the corner at the communication between you and the host of the show for men. No doubt about it. Busy day on the broadcast today. We've got a lot to get into, a lot to talk about on the show. We are going to talk about Brad Brownell in the future of Clemson basketball. I mentioned it yesterday, but I wanted to give some more thought. The big question that has been thrown out a number of times. If it's not Brad Brownell, what is the future for Clemson basketball? I'm going to try to give you an answer and see if the Clemson fans will be persuaded. We're going to get into that in a little while. Huge news out of the UFC. Dana White says that there is an opportunity for a triple header between two of the biggest names in the sport. We're going to get Lonzo's thoughts on that coming up in just a little while. We mentioned earlier in the week that Carolina Panthers did not send anyone to watch the pro day Mac Jones down at Alabama. But they did send big guns to go watch the pro day of another quarterback that may or may not be available to them on draft day. Which QB was it and why? And will they pull the trigger on that? We're going to talk about that coming up in a little while. Little discussion about Zion Williamson. Dude has an opportunity tonight to extend a very impressive streak that he is right in the midst of. Will he be able? We're going to talk about that in a little while and a whole lot more. But it is the first segment of the show, and that means it's time to do that little thing that we do.
Let's do lunch.
This is a very nutritious lunch. All the food groups are represented. You guys are here.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here? Lunch.
It is time for the lunch breakdown. The three things that you have to know. And by the way, thank you for those on the stream that are alerting me that the audio is echoing. I have fixed it, Josh and Sohail. I appreciate y'all very much. Go to our stream, facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. Go to our stream at twitter.com/The Rob Brown Show or youtube.com/The Rob Brown Show. You go there, you can watch Zoe and I behind the scenes, see what it looks and sounds like when we are off the air, etc., etc., etc. So thanks for the heads up there, Sohail and Josh. I appreciate it very much. All right, let's get to it. The three things you have to know. We start with what we just mentioned a second ago. The Panthers did not send anyone at all to watch the pro day of Mac Jones earlier this week. Now, yesterday we had Rashad Beard of the Panthers Nation podcast join us here on the show. Rashad said, don't read terribly deep into that, as remember, Matt Rule was hands-on with Mac Jones at the Senior Bowl. Mac Jones was the QB of the team that the Carolina Panthers coaching organization was there. Matt Rule was there in attendance, as was most of the Panthers staff and front office. They got a lot of time up close and personal with Mac Jones. But there's still some that I read into that, a little bit that I'm curious about. What I'm not reading a heck of a lot into is the fact that general manager Scott Fitterer and head coach Matt Rule are in Provo, Utah, in order to watch Zach Wilson work out at BYU's Pro Day, as are Falcons GM Terry Fontenot, head coach Arthur Smith, front office man Arthur Smith, and OC Dave Vergo. Panthers GM Scott Fitterer, OC Joe Brady, Matt Rule there as well. Broncos GM George Patton and QB's coach Mike Shula. Eagles offensive coordinator Shane Steichen and quarterback coach Brian Johnson, and Jags offensive coordinator Darrell Bevell. Wilson will be off the board by the time the Panthers are on the clock next month. Most mocks have him going to the Jets, number 2 overall, after TL16 is selected by the Jacksonville Jaguars. But anything could happen to the draft order between now and draft day. There is the chance he drops. Carolina also has the capital to be able to trade up in the draft. It looks like all 4 of this year's top QB prospects could be gone by 8, theoretically, maybe 5 if Trey Lance is added into that group of 4. But the fact, Lonzo, that the Panthers have elected to send their GM and head coach out to Utah, but did not do the same down to Tuscaloosa, even if they already had an eyes-on period with Mac Jones at the Senior Bowl. Remember, Mac Jones ended up hurting his ankle at the Senior Bowl, so he didn't get a full week there with the squad. But the fact that they sent guys out there knowing that Zach Wilson would have to be someone you trade up for leads me to believe, Zoe, that for Panthers fans' sake, fingers crossed, they listened to us, they took our advice, and they are going to aggressively pursue a QB, even if it means they have to trade up in the draft.
Yeah, I don't believe it is a smokescreen just to fool people into trying to figure out what they're going to do in the draft. Obviously, they're going for a quarterback, especially in this day and age. I mean, back when everybody was flying and it was no big deal, but now it is still kind of a big deal to send someone anywhere. The fact that they're out there looking at this guy means they're going to go after a quarterback. The question is, which one will they get?
Yep, that's exactly right. And which one they get, like we have mentioned, will continue to mention, will likely be a product of how hard they push. If they push hard, they could get a Zach Wilson. They can end up pushing hard and getting basically any of the rest of the 4 that are not Trevor Lawrence. He is going to the Jags. That is the one for sure, for certain, that I'm willing to write down and sign my name to right this very second. We'll talk more about that coming up later on in the show. Item numero dos. We're going racing on Sunday, and we're doing it on dirt. The boys in the big series are going to be spinning circles at the Food City Dirt Race at 3:30 on Sunday. This weekend marks the first time the Cup Series will race on dirt since 1970. It is the longest dirt race that we are aware of in the history of the race. 250 laps. We have no idea what kind of condition that track is going to be at the end of 250. So what did it take to get here, and what do we know about it? Well, first and foremost, we know that NASCAR spent time scouring around Tennessee for 18 different samples of dirt. They hired a soil specialist from California nicknamed Dr. Dirt, who knows the properties of these different types of dirt, analyzed the properties of these types of dirt.
How you doing? I'm Dr. Dirt.
Dr. Dirt. Dr. Dirt. It sounds like one of those really bad late 80s wrestlers, right? Dr. Dirt, who analyzed the properties of this dirt to try to figure out what they would do like in what mixture on a track. They brought him down and they dumped 2,300 truckloads of their favorite three types of dirt onto a concrete half-mile racetrack for these stock cars to run on. The 250-lap main event is a marathon by traditional dirt racing standards. Most of those, you're going to find your longest, are between 50 and 100. They are going to 50 in this one. William Byron, the 23-year-old racer from Charlotte, said, quote, "I think it's going to be the hardest race ever ran," end quote. Going to be interesting. He said this is going to be the day. 250 laps is going to be very challenging. Byron drove the 2016 race at Eldora Speedway, where the Truck Series competed on dirt from 2013 to 19. The Truck Series will race on dirt at Bristol this weekend. The Xfinity cars will not. 7 full-time Cup Series drivers, Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Larson, Ryan Newman, Daniel Suarez, and Chase Briscoe, are entered in the 44-truck field that will be whittled down to 40 after Saturday's heat races. The Cup race on Sunday will also use heat races on Saturday to determine the starting lineup, but will have all 39 cars in the main race. The race is going to work after a 5-race stretch of no qualifying due to pandemic-era changes. NASCAR will return to the added track time, but with a twist at Bristol. There will be 4 qualifying 15-lap heats for each series Saturday as a nod to traditional dirt racing. Only green flag laps will count. Drivers will earn points based on where they finish. First place earns 10, second place 9, etc., with additional passing points for each spot gained between starting and finishing position. Drivers will not receive negative points for losing positions. The starting lineup for the Sunday's Cup race will be determined by points in the heat races, with the most points starting at the front and ties broken by owner standings. Teams will use specifically grooved dirt tires for the race. NASCAR Vice President of Competition Scott Miller said, quote, "We just wanted to add some elements in setting the lineup for the feature that were from the roots of dirt track racing," end quote. The features will be formatted more traditionally. The Cup Series race on Sunday, 250 laps, stage breaks on laps 75, 150, and of course your final break at 250 when it is over. There will also be 2 50-minute practice sessions for both series Friday ahead of qualifying. I'm going to give you some potential winners and losers of that race coming up later on in the show, but that's what you need to know as we get ready for the race. And finally, NBA trade deadline has come and gone. We saw, this is a fun fact I saw yesterday, Zoe. Every NBA player, every one of them in the association with the first name Gary was traded yesterday. Every NBA player named Gary is on a new team today. I don't know why that fascinates me, but it does. Every Gary was traded. All right. It's absolutely pointless, but I just love the story for some reason. Winners and losers from a surprisingly eventful trade deadline. I put a couple of teams together that I like. I put a couple of teams together that I did not like. The winners I saw. Let's start with the Brooklyn Nets. They got James Harden back in January. We knew it would be the season's biggest trade, but the no other East contenders were really able to swing a blockbuster deal before the deadline. Milwaukee and Philadelphia added some playoff-tested veterans, but I said the Nets were winners, even though they really didn't do anything yesterday. Why? Because nobody in the East actually made a jump to catch them. Nobody in the East made a push to catch the Brooklyn Nets. Their path to the NBA Finals just got even easier because no one made a push. Another winner, the Denver Nuggets. Amongst the 8 teams who win the championship and at least 5% of 538's projections for the remainder of the season, the Nuggets made the biggest deadline swing, adding, of course, Gordon from the Magic. We talked about that. That's a big pickup. The Lakers are shorthanded. The Nuggets have an excellent chance to move into the West 4 teams and earn home court advantage if they can bump up a couple of games above the Lakers while LeBron and Anthony Davis are still out. Then they just need to hold serve for the remainder of the season. And on top of that, Aaron Gordon is not strictly a rental. He's got one more year on his contract at a price of $16.4 million before Denver has to figure out how to manage new deals for both Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. With Nikola Jokic playing at an MVP level, the Nuggets have a chance to build on last year's run to the conference finals and do so with them hosting said finals, as I mentioned, if they can build some room between them and the Lakers between the end of the year. Some of the losers that I'm looking at. I am starting with the LA Lakers. I came into this, as most of us did, thinking that LA was going to make some big-time moves on trade deadline day. They really did not. Still waiting on more details about the injuries of Anthony Davis and LeBron James. A realistic playoff path, as I mentioned a minute ago, with Aaron Gordon moving to Denver, could see them face off with the Nuggets. The LA Clippers added Rajon Rondo, a part of the Lakers' 2020 title team, and the league-leading Utah Jazz got better as well. All of the sudden, the path through the playoffs for the LA Lakers looks far more difficult today than it did yesterday, and that is going to make it a lot more fun in the West. I really thought the Western Conference was locked up by LA and that we'd have kind of a boring run through the Western Conference playoffs, but all of a sudden, maybe not so much. Maybe not so much. Maybe we're in a better spot now to see a little more competition out in the West. I'm going to give you some more winners and losers as the day goes on. Teams I really like, teams that I think fell apart yesterday at the trade deadline. We are going to be busy. 844-GSP ESPN 844-477-3776. Text us 71307 71307. Start your text with ESPN and join us on the live stream at facebook.com/ESPN Upstate, twitter.com/The Rob Brown Show, and search The Rob Brown Show on YouTube. Put it on your smart TV. You can watch us like a TV show. You're welcome. It's here to make your life better. Quick break. Back after this. Rob Lonzo, this is ESPN Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your Amazon or Google smart speaker. Just say, play ESPN Upstate.
Automap.com presents your ESPN Upstate Sports Center update powered by The Score. A NASCAR weekend that feels kind of normal with practice sessions and qualifying.
All right.
Not normal because they're running a dirt race for the Cup Series for the first time.
This is where I turned that off, but there we go now. No, thank you for the heads up there. I am presently looking at a trailer that just dropped, but I'm not going to make the mistake of watching it with the sound on. It looks pretty cool, though. I can't wait to talk about it later. Wow. Oh. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and say I am watching the Suicide Squad trailer without the sound on, and check out King Shark. That's all I'm saying. Just check out King Shark. Wow, this is an extended trailer.
Which one are you watching?
Suicide Squad, but without the sound on. It just dropped. So, apparently John Cena did so good that it warranted a spinoff. So,
really?
Yeah, he's been filming the spinoff. It's a series, actually.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
If the movie doesn't suck.
Well, I suggest you look at the trailer with the sound off. but I suggest you look at the trailer.
I'll mute my mic and watch that bad boy. You can we could we play trailers? That's fair use, right? If we are doing it for the sake of critiquing something, I'm gonna have to look back and I think
it comes down to if it's a watch along, but I cannot guarantee that that's okay. But if it's a watch along, which is exactly what it would be, you and I would be watching along and commenting on it. I think that's acceptable. But we might need to look into it, and I have no idea who to ask about that.
90% sure. I'm flashing back to my.
It's because it's no different than playing a trailer on the air.
Exactly.
But after yesterday, I'm
Yeah, exactly. I'm 90% sure. In fact, I'm confident enough to do it. That as long as, like, if we keep ourselves on screen and we are commenting, critiquing, it falls under fair use policy, which means that we would be allowed to share it. Yeah, we're going to do it next break. We're going to watch that trailer next break.
I'm going to leave that up to you.
We're going to watch that trailer next break.
Because we know I err way on the side of caution. So
more than the scores, the ups and downs, the ins and outs. Real, unfiltered sports talk. It's the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. This is ESPN Upstate. Rob, Lonzo, and you. Join us over in the stream, facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. During the next break, Lonzo and I are actually going to take have a conversation about the trailer for the new Suicide Squad movie that just dropped a minute ago. So if you are a nerd movie enthusiast like Lonzo and I are, you're going to want to join us over there. Because we're about to have a very, very good time talking about it. So make sure that you join us over on the live stream at facebook.com/ESPN Upstate if you are a nerd movie enthusiast like Lonzo and I are. So I wanted to bring this up early in the show because I wanted to get Clemson fans' thoughts on it. And that conversation is about, and I know a lot of people feel like it's kind of tired, like it's kind of played. To me, it's not. To me, now's the time to be thinking about a decision. Now is the time to be thinking about the future of Clemson basketball. And I want to clarify something real quick. I want to clarify. Alabama is doing something right now that I think needs to be talked about, needs to be discussed. Zoe, you and I have been having conversations about Clemson, about South Carolina, about their basketball programs under Brad Brownell and Frank Martin, about what the future holds for them, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the conversation points that has come up a lot of times from you, from me, from viewers and listeners, et cetera, has been this. It is tough to be a good basketball team at Clemson or South Carolina because they are football schools. Well, I am looking right now at what Nate Oates is doing down at the University of Alabama. They are a Final Four caliber team. I have them as a national championship caliber team. I'm looking down at what Leonard Hamilton is doing at the Florida State University. Despite the fact that FSU's football program has been a fart noise for the better part of the last 5-6 years, Leonard Hamilton has that basketball team coming off of an ACC championship last year and in their third consecutive Sweet 16, looking, I think, like they have a pretty good chance to knock off Michigan and move to the Elite Eight for the second time in the last 3 seasons where the tournament has been played. You can win as a basketball program at a football school. Michigan is doing it right now as well. Ohio State. Zoe, is there a more basketball-minded school, or a more football-minded school in the country than Ohio State? I would say there are plenty of teams that are as football-minded, but Ohio State, I'd say the Buckeyes, though, Y'all claim to be a football school. Am I wrong?
You are absolutely right, but the claim that Michigan is a football school, that would be false.
Okay, I didn't say they were good at football, but they are a football school. They are a football first fan base, no doubt about it. The point that I'm making is that the whole mentality of football schools can't be good at basketball, all I've got to do is point at the Elite Eight this year, right now, and prove to you that that is not the case. Look at the tournament. How many football schools, quote unquote, were in the tourney, right? How many of them are in the Elite Eight? Alabama, Michigan, FSU. There's plenty of them, and there are some that are not. I'd even argue Baylor is a football school with a good basketball program. The whole premise of we can't be good at basketball because we are a football school, to me, is egregious. I could not disagree with you more. It is possible, but you got to have the guy. You got to have the guy that makes the football fans want to care. Second off, you are not going to convince me that a school like a Clemson can't do what needs to be done, can't pay what needs to be paid to make it happen. Now, I'm going to turn to Loyola Chicago. That coach has had consistent success and built that program into a genuine threat. Clemson could pay triple the salary that the head coach at Loyola Chicago is getting there. On top of that, Clemson is attractive. It's a beautiful campus. It is a beautiful school. It's got beautiful students. The recruiting ground is fertile. There is a history of athletic success. There's plenty of money in the budget if the athletic department budgets it outright. They have a beautiful, beautiful arena. I've yet to make it to the inside, but I drove the campus of Clemson a few weeks back, drove right past Littlejohn. It is a beautiful arena. You just need to get the right coach in there, and you'll be good. And you'll be good. Look, I am looking at a guy in Brad Brownell who has done some good things. I'm not arguing about that. But in 11 years, Clemson has made the tournament 3 times. They've had one single trip to the Sweet 16. And the problem that I have that irks me the most, Lonzo, is that it's the same problems every year that keep them from getting to the Sweet 16. It's the same meltdowns every year that keep them from getting to the Sweet 16. It is time that you strongly consider making a change, and you hate to do it when you got a guy that everybody seems to like as much as everybody seems to like Brad Brownell. It's tough, but those are the business decisions that have to get made. I'm not sitting here saying I'm calling for the firing of Brad Brownell. It's not my place. What I am saying is that if the strongest argument you have is, well, we're a football school, and who else would we hire? Well, I don't know, man. But Loyola Chicago figured it out. Oral Roberts figured it out. If you're arguing the football school point, Florida State figured it out. Florida figured it out. Michigan figured it out. Ohio State has figured it out. If you are going to tell me that it is just impossible, Zoe, and here's the last statement I'll make. I want your thoughts before we take a break. If you are a Clemson fan telling me it is impossible for Clemson to be good at basketball because we're a football school, then you are at default admitting that Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, and Florida have better athletic departments than you do because they figured it out. You're telling me you can't? I just have a problem with that statement, Lonzo.
It really comes down to the Clemson fans themselves. If there is not an outcry among the fandom for a change, then there's not going to be a change. If the fandom is okay with it, then the school is okay with it. And I've heard here and other places how there needs to be a change, but I haven't heard an outcry from Clemson fans saying there needs to be a change. And until their voice is raised, you're going to get more of the same every year.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's absolutely infuriating. It really is. It is infuriating to me that it is infuriating to me that you've got, as far as I am concerned, all the resources. You've got the money. You've got the facilities. You've got the program. But you're not pushing to demand better. Clemson fans, push to demand better because you should. I'm looking at a program that has every resource that a Florida State has, that an Ohio State has, that a Michigan has. But you're cool with 3 tournament appearances in 11 years? You're cool with 1 Sweet 16 appearance in 11 years? You're cool with that? So I got to tell you, I would not be. I would not be. Not in the least. All right, 844-GSP-ESPN, 844-477-3776. Text us at 71307. 71307. Start your text with ESPN so we can read them on the air. Clemson fans, I am asking for you. I'm asking you. Please chime in. Tell me what you think the problem is. Or are you just apathetic about the basketball program? I know there are a lot of people who just don't care about basketball. I met one the other day, Clemson fan. I asked. I said, man, is it time to move on from Brad Brownell? And his answer was, dude, I don't care about basketball. I just care about our football program. If you feel that way, that's fine. But I can't imagine there's not some Clemson fans that have some pride in the basketball program. Do you have pride in the basketball program right now? Or are you just totally apathetic as a fan base? If nobody's going to check in, I have no choice to but assume that Clemson's just apathetic about the basketball program, and I'm wasting my time talking about it and wasting your time talking about it. 844-GSP-ESPN. Join us on the stream, facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. Zoe and I are going to take a look at the Suicide Squad trailer here in just a second, break it down. So if you are a movie nerd like me, join us on the stream right this second. We're back after this. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is ESPN Upstate.
You ready? Get that texting finger.
All right. Oh, it like just dropped.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I am gonna have to cut my mic and it's a full 3-minute trailer. Not that we're not allowed to do it, but I'm gonna have to cut my mic, Zoe, and actually listen to it because it looks like it might be a red band trailer.
Yeah, that could be a problem, but at the same time, I mean, kind of acceptable, but I don't know.
I kind of want to just go for it, but I don't want the awful language to be burned up there.
Well, then just watch it and then make a decision on it, and then we'll do it in the next break.
All right. For those of you that joined us just to watch the trailer, I'm going to ask you to hang on because touched the wrong button. I'm going to have to screen it to see how the language plays out. I personally don't care, but I can't have it on our Facebook page. So give me a minute. I'm going to watch through it, see if the language is good. And then if we need to play it next break, we will. Hang on for me. Zoe, talk to the people. Oh, you can't talk to the people because I got to turn the mic all the way off. All right, hang on. How are we looking on time, Zoe?
You have a minute and a half.
All right. There is one F-bomb in it so far, which I know where it is, so I can drop the volume right there. But I'm going to finish it. So those of you that tuned in for Suicide Squad, hang on. We're going to do it in the next break. I promise. Don't go anywhere.
$30 seconds.
All right. There's one F-bomb, which I know where it is, so I can drop it. And I think other than that, we're probably good. So next break, and for those of you that are in here, hang on there. We're going to watch Suicide Squad trailer in the next break. It'll be worth the wait.
Noon to
It looks
3
awesome.
every weekday on ESPN Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is ESPN Upstate. Rob, Lonzo, and you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Those of you on the stream, those of you joining us on the stream, I did not know that the trailer was a Red Band trailer, so I had to preview it. For those of you who are in for the Suicide Squad movie trailer review, we're going to do that in the next break. I tried to do it there, but I knew I had to watch over it once. So, Suicide Squad trailer in the next break. Join us on the stream if you're interested in that. These are the kind of things we do on the stream that we don't do on air that are why you should join the stream. All right, that's all I'm saying.
I am concerned though, because we saw no reaction as we studied your face as you watched the Red Band trailer. So
I forgot that I left it up there.
Yes, so we watched intently to see if there was any moments where you thought were really cool or anything like that. And unless you were, so now you're saying you weren't hiding your expressions, so that means it's probably not very good.
No, I was more intently trying to pay attention to where I may have to censor the trailer on the premiere there when we play it in the next segment. So I was kind of focused on that more. I will be honest, there's a couple of moments of gore. And I'm good. There's a couple of dirty humor moments that I'm kind of intrigued to see if you guys are interested in. But yeah, we'll do that in the next break. So join us on the stream, facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. Join us on the stream, and we will we'll get you all caught up. Cannot wait for that in the next break. Join us on the stream, facebook.com/ESPN Upstate, twitter.com/The Rob Brown Show, or at The Rob Brown Show. Text came in during the break. They're talking Clemson basketball. ESPN, the problem is all our local recruits had one state up if they were any good. Not a Tater fan, just an observation. Yeah, no, I know that you are going to be fighting against the Dukes and the Carolinas up there in the North Carolina that like to come down and raid your best talent. But you're in ACC territory, and recruiting is a national game now, even in basketball. You don't think that Tennessee, who made it in the tournament, doesn't have to fight against the Carolinas? FSU's still in there. You don't think they fight North Carolina and Duke for recruits? That is, Zoe, I stand on this. That is an argument that worked 15, 20 years ago. Oh, all our good talent goes to the Carolinas. Yeah, up to the North Carolina teams, Duke, UNC, etc. That's an argument that worked 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Recruiting is a national game now. Everybody recruits from everywhere. You may have a pipeline and you may have a spot in your backyard where you recruit the best. I understand that.
You know what? You might even say recruiting for basketball is worldwide. It's not just international.
Oh, sure.
Because we have a lot of players from overseas coming and playing at schools. And there's no excuse. None at all.
Balsa Koprivica, who is the center for FSU, you know where they recruited him, Zoe? Serbia. They brought him from Serbia. So it's fine if you can't get the folks now, the recruits now, to join in from South Carolina and they go up like Zion did in North Carolina. I get it. But it's an international game now. Forget it's a nationwide game. It's an international game now. You recruit internationally. That, to me, I'm sorry to say, with all due respect to the texter, and I'm not saying that you're guilty of this, but that's an excuse. That was fine. That was a fine reason. It was a justified reason a handful of years back. It was a justified thing a handful of years ago, but it's not anymore. It's not anymore. It's not a justified thing anymore. Now, you have got to be able to, and again, that's the frustrating part. Clemson has all of the resources that a Michigan and an FSU and a Florida and an Alabama, all of whom are still dancing, has all the resources. In fact, I would even argue nicer resources. I keep going back to FSU, and I'm using them as an example because they play in the same conference. FSU's basketball facilities, where they play their games, that arena is about 3/4 to a full mile off campus. And it's a community civic center that's not even as nice as the Bon Secours Wellness Center, all right? But they're still bringing in talent. They're still bringing in recruits, high level. I've been to Alabama. I've seen a game in Alabama. They got a nice little arena. I don't know if it's as nice as Little John. It's certainly not as new. And Alabama is every bit the football program that Clemson is. You know what the difference is? And Zoe's right on this. Nail, meet hammer. The difference is the Alabama fans push for their athletic department to make their basketball team better. They push for their athletic department to make their basketball team better. They demand that it get better. And then when it does, they show the hell up. Clemson could do the same thing. Clemson could do the same thing. Y'all just don't. And I don't get it. So am I fighting a losing battle here? Am I asking Clemson fans to do something to demand better? Am I asking them to do something that they just have no interest in doing?
Yeah. And I hate to say that, but it just, year after year of this conversation and people calling for a change that are not Clemson fans, they're a football school, and you know what? It's okay. If that's all you want to be, that's fine. That is fine. But you could be more. You should expect championships from every team on your campus.
Only one team has ever won a football and basketball championship in the same year, 2007 Florida Gators. But there are a lot of teams that have won football national championships and basketball national championships, and there are a couple of teams in the running that can still do it today. FSU could still get there. Alabama could get there. Michigan could get there. On Twitter, our buddy Alden Taters, BWatt03, says, the Rob Brown Show, with the money Clemson has as an athletic program, there's no excuse for Brownell to not get some top-tier talent, facilities, money, home court, all better off than FSU. Brad Brownell has got to go, end quote. That is an FSU fan saying, y'all got more in the way of facilities, money, everything else than FSU does. There's no excuse for you not to compete. And I agree with him entirely. 844-GSP-ESPN, 844-477-3776. Text us at 71307. Let me get Mike in here real quick before we take a break. Mike, welcome to the Rob Brown Show. Thanks for taking a minute, bud. Great to have you.
Hey, first-time caller. Listen to your show since day one. Love it. You guys keep doing what you do.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that very much,
I just want to tell you, I just want to say fire Brad Brownell. I've had enough torture. You have to hide as a Clemson fan in the closet being a basketball fan of theirs. Oh, I don't really care. But that's kind of the way it is. But I'll say it. I'll be the caller to say it. Fire Brad Brownell, make us happy.
So you're on board. Is it just, like I said, 11 seasons, 3 tournament appearances, 1 Sweet 16 appearance? I would think, look, Brad Brownell's a great guy. I'm good with all of that. That's just not enough, right, Mike? For a school with the resources of Clemson, that's just not enough.
Not. Yeah, absolutely not. He's had too many resources, too many opportunities, and for us to be still to go, meh, I mean, come on, we just got to drop it and let's get someone else in there and change the culture.
Demand better, Mike. I appreciate it, bud. Great to have you on the show. Let's take a quick break. Again, join us in the stream. Appreciate you, Mike. Thank you very much. 844-GSP-ESPN. Text us at 71307. Going to do the Suicide Squad trailer in the stream here in just a second. So join us. We'll watch that. Then we're back after this on the Rob Brown Show. It's ESPN Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your computer and tablet at ESPNUpstate.com.
All right, dudes and dudettes, here we go. I think if I can make this, is that full screen there, Zoe? Or at least better? Yeah, that's full screen. All right, here it is, Suicide Squad trailer. I'm going to do my best to censor it to the best of my ability for you. I think there's only one spot that really needs to be censored. Zoe, are you ready? Oh, Zoe's doing a live read. I got to wait. Oh, no, we got to wait for Lonzo. We got to wait for Zoe. Oh, man. Love it. As soon as Zoe gets done, we'll run it. Can't wait. Are we ready, Zoe?
Ready.
All right. So I'm going to press play. We're going to be able to hear it. Zoe, if at any point you want to pause it to comment, you let me know, and I'll push the pause button. Here we go. Oh, I got to plug that back in.
We don't leave one of our own behind. Hopefully Harley's still alive.
No funny business. These are dangerous people.
Team 2 is clear to go.
Fire. 3, 2.
What are you guys doing?
What?
You, we're here to save you.
You were going to save me?
It was a really good plan, too.
Well, I can go back inside and you can still do it.
That's patronizing.
I'm so sorry. Harley Quinn.
Blood sport.
I'm going to say this, though. I was worried that they ruined Harley Quinn with the last Suicide Squad. I love her first appearance in this trailer.
Yeah, it's Margot Robbie, man. It's hard to go wrong with her. She plays the character so well.
And Amanda Waller is just a G in the last movie. One of the few bright spots.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
You know the deal. Successfully complete the mission. You get.
Yes, though the required Pete Davidson appearance in the Orange Crocs.
10 years off your sentence.
Times are hard.
You fail to follow my orders in any way, and I detonate the explosive device in the base of your skull.
So matter of fact.
Right.
It was Mary Poppins.
Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Any questions? Yes, that is your hand. Very good.
I hope so.
All right, there we go. There was the one censor spot.
We failed the mission. You die. If we find out any information you give us is false, you die.
If we find out you have personalized license plates.
Doctor Who.
No.
If you cough without covering
Harley, although that isn't an open invitation for you to cough.
Okay, can I just say I love that spot from Harley Quinn?
What's the plan? How the hell am I supposed to know? You're the leader. You're supposed to be decisive. And I've decided that you should eat a big bag of dicks. If this whole beach was completely covered in dicks, and somebody said I'd eat every dick until the beach was clean for liberty, I would say no problem.
Why would someone put penises all over the beach?
Oh, James Gunn humor makes its appearance, Lonzo.
Yeah, he's been in trouble for that in the past.
This is suicide.
Yep, that's gangster.
Oh.
I'm going to get you out of here alive.
I love this scene from.
Oh my God, we've got a freaking kaiju up in the.
There you go. Look at Rob with the live action sensor.
Good job.
Thanks very much.
I love the rain. It's like angels are smooching all over us.
Yep. I'm here for it, Lonzo.
Yeah, me too. I'm sold.
Here for it. I'm here for it.
30 seconds. Yeah. Love the King Shark, though.
Yeah. That scene with him in the distance just ripping that guy in half. Are you kidding me? You know what? These movies, if you're going to do this version, though, you just got to full lean into comic book ridiculousness, and they did it, which I love.
Absolutely.
Following the Rob Brown Lockdown on Twitter. Tweet at The Rob Brown Show on the Upstate Sports Leader, ESPN Upstate.
All right, the Rob Brown Show back on your radio. This is ESPN Upstate. Rob and Lonzo and you. We watched the Suicide Squad trailer there in the stream. If you missed it, you can actually go back after the stream is over and rewatch it with us. Kind of got to tell you, though, they leaned into the full ridiculousness of the comic book, and I am here for it. I'm here for it. Loved it. All right, so your thoughts on the Clemson basketball situation. I've asked for you to chime in at 71307. After that text where we said the problem is all our local recruits head one state up if they are any good. Not a Tater fan, just an observation. He texted back and said, ESPN, after I sent that text, I told my girlfriend, listen, Rob Brown is about to roast my text. LOL, you guys are awesome. It wasn't a roast, all right? It was a civil disagreement. Can we just go with that? It was a courteous disagreement. I think that's an excuse, all right? I think it's an excuse. I think it's an easily deployed, infrequently fought back against excuse. Again, I can point to every team, every roster in the Sweet 16, and they've got guys from around the country. Clemson can attract guys from around the country. You do it in football, right? We looked up the roster from football last year. Mark Ryan has made a huge point about the recruiting patterns for Clemson and South Carolina, and how there's a lot of guys that go out of South Carolina, and you look at Clemson's roster, and you got guys from California and Texas and Florida and Joyce. They're from everywhere. You can do the same damn things with basketball. I don't know if anybody's told you all that, but it's not required. You only have kids from South Carolina on the squad. I don't know. I'm just frustrated on your behalf. And I guess maybe I'm the only one that's frustrated with Clemson basketball right now. I guess I'm the only one that's frustrated. Mike called in a minute ago. Mike said it's time. We gotta move on from Brad Brownell. And I respect Mike and I appreciate the call. But that's it. That's the one call. That's the one call we've gotten. Now I bet you, though, we may do this in the last hour after it wears off here. I bet you, Lonzo, if we get to the last hour and we talk Clemson spring football, I bet you we'll get a handful of phone calls about spring football. But I can't get a call. I got a call. I'm
still surprised we got a call at all.
Yeah, it hurts. I hurt for you. I got no vested interest in Clemson being good at basketball, other than it pays me more if they are. But for you guys, how do you not demand better? How do you not expect more? How are you so apathetic about this? You have all the tools to be a consistently Sweet 16 team. I'm not saying it's going to happen every year, but it's got to happen more than 3 out of 11, right? Florida State's gone to 3 of the last 11. Michigan's there again. Ohio State should have been. They got bumped, and it was considered the biggest damn upset of the tournament. Demand more. Expect more. You deserve more. Your chance to win $1,000 in the $1,000 cash stash on ESPN Upstate. Your keyword for the upcoming hour is feather, like on a bird. Feather, F-E-A-T-H-E-R, feather. Text the keyword feather to 72881, 72881, powered by BetQL. Let BetQL's proven data and analytics help you become a better. Download the BetQL app today. Text feather, F-E-A-T-H-E-R, to 72881 for your chance to win $1,000 in the $1,000 cash dash on ESPN Upstate. When we come back in the next hour, we got some NASCAR, some huge UFC news, and a lot more. I'm Rob. He's Zoe. You're listening to The Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
ESPN Upstate, WYRD Greenville, WORD Spartanburg, W249TL Greenville, W246CV Spartanburg, WFBC FM HD3 Greenville.
Okay, couple of comments that came in post our Suicide Squad watch. Keegan says, could they not afford Dr. Pepper? They had to go Pib Extra. Let me tell you something, Keegan.
That just adds to the cornball of the whole thing.
First off, correct. Second off, as someone who will absolutely drink the off-brand drink, this is Venom energy drink, all right? As somebody who will frequently drink the off-brand, because here's the reality, you don't have to like it, but you do have to respect it. In many cases, the off-brand is better than the on-brand, all right? That's just a fact, Keegan. That's just a fact.
Hold on. So you're going to say that Mr. Pibb is better than Dr. Pepper?
No, I'm saying if someone believes that Mr. Pibb is better than Dr. Pepper, that's their prerogative, and I'm not going to hate on them for it.
I would say there's probably an inside joke about that in the movie that's more proof that person needs to be in the Suicide Squad, that they prefer Mr. Pibb over Dr. Pepper.
Sure.
Dr. Pepper is the nectar of the gods.
Now, more importantly, I did not catch this, Lonzo. Did Sly Stallone, were we aware that Sly was going to show up in this movie? He's going to end up being the bad guy, right?
It seems vaguely familiar. I'm not so sure about that. Remember, he was in the second I bag on it. Why did I forget? Wow. I'm losing nerd cred here.
I was just going to say the Expendables.
No, Drax and yeah, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
That was a brain fart on you.
That is me doing this, and that at the same time, and my brain said, "Whoa, no, well, not right now." Well, so the reason why I'm bringing that up is because James Gunn, and so probably a relationship there, and that's probably how I got Sylvester Stallone twice. I don't think he's the bad guy, though. You notice they didn't point out who the bad guy was. For some reason, I thought the bad guy was actually King Shark, but I guess not.
Well, we don't know yet.
Hopefully it's a better bad guy than the last time, because that's one of the things that was so bad about the first Suicide Squad movie.
Look, as a
the BetQL app today.
And check this out.
For an official Rob Brown lockdown.
Represents being real. Yeah.
Real, unfiltered sports talk. Manufactured locally for the Carolinas.
Lockdown.
This is the Rob Brown Show.
Yeah.
Only on ESPN.
ESPN Upstate.
And away we go. Hour number 2. Back on the radio. This is ESPN Upstate. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Join us, won't you? 844-GSP, ESPN, 844-477-3776. Text us, 71307, 71307, the text line. Start your text with ESPN so that you can join us We'll read your text live on the air. 71307 is the text line if you want to be a part of the show. Tweet us at The Rob Brown Show, at Lonzo on Word, and at ESPN Upstate. And, of course, on Facebook at facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. Go there. You can watch the live stream. Join in with us during the breaks. We had some good conversation going on earlier. Watch the Suicide Squad. We've been talking about Lonzo's dad kicks, #DadKicks, on the show all week long. And yes, Zoe, I'm pretty sure I'm bringing the purple hoodie. I think the purple hoodie might just be my Monday attire now. Just every Monday, I'm going to rock the purple hoodie just out of spite. By the way, as I filled in on Mark's show yesterday, dude, our listeners, though, were roasting me on Mark Ryan's show, sending in the Teletubby text and the "Don't let Barney come at you, Mark" text. My listeners were roasting me on Mark's show, which then meant I had to explain why they were calling me Tinky Winky to Mark Ryan.
Wait.
Guess what's never going to die now?
Here's the thing. You don't have to explain who Tinky Winky is to Mark Ryan. He knows. He knows.
#good burn. All right. 844-477-3776 is the number. 844-GSP-ESPN. Wanted to talk Zion for just a second. Mark did a good segment on Zion yesterday, and he brought up some of the numbers I brought up in the past, and the fact that basically in every statistical category through the first 65 games of his career that he's played in, that Zion is outpacing LeBron James. Now, that is not me saying he's going to be a better player than LeBron James. In fact, Lonzo, I pointed out yesterday, and you may agree or disagree with this, but I pointed out on Mark's show, Zion's game does not provide him, I don't think, a 21-year career, right? He just is too physical. He's too big. He bumps. He bangs. He might make it to 28, 29, but that guy is not getting into his mid-30s, at least not with the game that he plays, which is his game, right? He's not going to be able to transit. LeBron has transitioned to his game to more of a guy who plays almost, I mean, he's a shooting forward is what LeBron is now. He brings the ball up. He distributes the ball. He can still bang down low if he needs to, but he very frequently is playing up at the top of the arc, not down inside. I don't see Zion transitioning his game to that style of basketball. I don't think he has that in him. So he's not going to make it to the 35, 36 years of age that he would need to make it if he wanted to outpace LeBron to dump LeBron's records. But he will, for the next 8 or 9 years, be a guy that's on top of just about every single interior scoring record year by year. He's going to be up there every year. Zion, if Zion dumps 20 plus tonight and the Pelicans are playing, oh God, I already forgot who the Pelicans are playing tonight. Anyway, if he is able to put up 20 tonight, it'll be the 22nd consecutive games. They're playing Denver. It's going to be a tough one with Jokic back on the floor. If he can put up 20 tonight, which is going to be tough but not impossible, that'll be 22 consecutive that Zion has scored 20 plus in a game. He's also a walking double-double who's throwing 6 to 7 assists a game. So a triple-double for Zion is not out of the question, which is interesting from a power style 4. It's really impressive, genuinely impressive. But more impressive, to me anyway, more impressive is the way Zion handles himself. Earlier this week, after he got his 20th consecutive game with 20 points, he was asked by a media member to reflect on what it feels like to go 20 in 20 straight at 20 years of age. And here is what Zion Williamson had to say.
Usually I'll give y'all a little short answer, but I'll try to be better tonight. How hard is it? I guess for somebody in my position, since I have the ball in my hands a lot, because my coach and teammates trust me, I could just shoot a lot and get 20 points, but my teammates and coaches know that that's not the game I want to play. I want to get everybody involved and try to hunt for the best shot. So, when getting those 20 points, like y'all say, some nights it is going to be tougher. But on nights like tonight, when there's a lot of ball movement, B.I.'s doing his thing, really opens up the game for me. So that's how I do it.
Zion Williamson. Listen to that kid. We've talked in the past about him, Lonzo. I don't understand how you're not a fan of this kid. 21 straight with 20 points at 20 years of age. The most dominant player in the NBA inside of 7 feet. Can play on the outside. Is averaging almost 7 assists a game. And when you ask him a question, ordinarily he goes, hey, my teammates trust me and I'm going to try to do my job to win. And then when he gets pushed for a longer answer, when people start saying, Z, you need to talk about yourself, man. Build the brand. Talk about yourself. My dog, you've earned it. What does Zion do? Instead of giving 15 seconds about how his team trusts him and he wants to do right for his team and get dubs and sound very sincere about it, what does he do instead? He talks for 40 seconds about how the goal is to win and about his team trusting him and how he wants to do his best for his team, et cetera, et cetera. Lonzo, I got to tell you the truth, man. I am so ecstatic that Zion Williamson plays for my team, because if he played for the Lakers or the 76ers or any of the other teams that I don't like, it would suck, because I don't see how you don't like that kid. An incredible interior player, a phenomenal basketball player, and a great dude on top of it. At 20, he has every right to have to squeeze his head through a door. It should be so big. But Lonzo, the kid is just down to earth, and I love him. I love him.
Absolutely, and hopefully it doesn't change. And you know what? Just because I know he's chasing LeBron now, and if he never catches him, that doesn't mean that he's not going to go down as one of the greatest of all time if he continues to play well, and he has the potential to do so. Also, I have breaking news.
Fire away.
All right. According to Fox Sports and ESPN, the Dolphins are trading their number 3 overall pick to the 49ers.
Wow.
For the number 12 pick, a 2021 third-round pick, and a first-round pick in 2022 and 2023.
Yes, that is a huge trade. That's a huge trade.
Now, why would they want to move up to 3?
That is to be able to pick either Justin Fields or Zach Wilson, whoever's left there at 3. That's what that is. So, Carolina, you have 2 options. You can hang on and take Mac Jones, or you can bet the farm on Trey Lance from North Dakota State, because that means that Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Justin Fields are coming off the board 1, 2, 3. That stings for Carolina. We'll talk about that in the next segment. Jock is up next on the show to talk a little Clemson ball. I'm so happy to have people calling in to talk Clemson basketball. Jock, thanks for taking a minute. Great to have you on the show, bud.
Hey, man, appreciate you taking my call.
Sure thing.
So when it comes to Clemson basketball, quickly, I was born in '68. I was born in Pickens County, so I followed Clemson sports my whole life. Back in the day, we get Rick Barnes, and I'm thinking, okay, finally, we got a premier-looking coach, because he was fairly new, and but then we couldn't hold him. And if you look at Clemson sports, and pretty much every other sport, we are premier. We have either conference or national titles in just about every sport we've ever put on the board. And it's like year after year, mediocrity lives at Little John. I never have understood it. We've had some good players. We've had a few good years, but it's almost like the basketball program doesn't match the vision for any other sport at Clemson.
Yes.
And honestly, we don't just need a coach change. Like, we need an internal vision culture change for that sport, because the guy from Florida State is right. I mean, we have taken visionary steps in every other sport to make sure we are a premier program in Little Clemson, South Carolina. And it's just it's just one decade of mediocrity after the next when it comes to basketball.
Jock, thank you. You're my favorite caller right now, Jock. Because you're spot on.
Well,
you're dead on, boss. The mentality is just not there. It's there in baseball. It's there in soccer, number one team in the country in men's soccer right now. It's there in football, obviously. It's there in track and field. Why is it that Clemson can be a national competitor in every damn college sport, but when it comes to basketball, it's just a shoulder shrug and what are you going to do? There's so much potential there, Jock.
That's right.
Man, I appreciate the phone
anyway,
call.
That's my thoughts on it, man. Appreciate it. I enjoy your show, man.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that very much. I'm glad you do. I hope you'll keep calling in. Spot damn on. Spot freaking on, Lonzo. We couldn't have summed it up any better. That's a great take. The mentality is there to be the best in the country of football. The mentality is there to compete for national championships and be in Omaha in baseball. Clemson athletics, Clemson track and field and cross country, turning out Olympians every year. Men's soccer, number one in the country right now. All of this is there. Hell, if you can compete to be number one in the country in soccer, a sport that is meh in the South as a whole, but you telling me you can't do it in basketball? You telling me you can't do it in basketball? When you've got the facilities and the money and the pipeline, I do not accept it. I don't accept it. And Jock nailed it right there, Zoe. The mentality of the basketball program is, meh, what are you going to do? I mean, three tournament appearances in 11 years, 1 Sweet 16. We're happy with that. No, you're not, Zoe. Jock right now has just elevated himself to P1 status with one phone call, Lonzo. I love it. Wes is on the phone. Let's get Wes in here before we take a break. Wes, thanks for taking a minute. Great to have you on the show, pal.
Okay. All right, Rob. Now, you sort of stole some of my thunder. But what I was going to say is, they were told Clemson has been talking about getting rid of the men's track team.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you are producing Olympic athletes from your track program, and these athletes are winning medals, and your basketball team can't even win a church league tournament. I mean, there's something wrong. There's something wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be, a team cannot be that snake bitten.
No, it can't, Wes. You're right. It can't. You can't tell me when you got a track and field team that pumps out Olympians, a softball team in the top 25, a baseball team that's in and out of it, a soccer team that's number one in the country, hell, a beach volleyball team that shows up. I mean, you can't tell me.
And you got a great golf program, too.
Yeah. You can't tell me that every other sport in the athletic department can be successful, but we just have too tough of a time recruiting in basketball. Get out of here. To pull that and to say, well, what do you expect? We're a football school. Well, so the hell is Alabama and Florida State and Michigan and Florida and Ohio State, and all these teams are making Sweet 16 runs every single year. You can't tell me, well, we can't really put the money into it. If Loyola Chicago and Oral Roberts are dancing in the Sweet 16, every excuse, Wes, as far as I'm concerned, has come off the books just in this tournament alone. There's just no excuse for it, in my opinion.
Well, look at Gonzaga, where they first started, and look at where they are now.
Yeah. And I won't take, Wes, because the one response we always get when we have this conversation on the air, which has happened a couple times since the ACC tournament and that devastating loss to Miami, what I get is, well, if you fire Brunell, who are you going to bring in? Well, I got to tell you, I'll take the risk that I find a Mark Few if it gets me out of 3 tournament runs in 11 years and 1 Sweet 16 appearance every decade. I will take the risk, and I'll cycle a new coach every damn 2 years until I find the right guy, because what y'all got going on right now, when I look at every other bit of success Clemson's had in every other sport, Wes, it's just not acceptable, man. It's just not.
Well, that's right. I mean, look at what the coach did that Virginia Tech got from our little Wofford College here in Spartanburg.
Yeah.
He's been there 2 years now, and he's built a great program there.
Yeah, you're right. Wes, I appreciate the phone coming. Great to have you on the show. Thanks for checking in. Zoe, I think our last two callers, Jock and Wes, have both nailed it. There is this mentality that we are a football school. We are not expected to win. We can't put the money towards it. And I can point to this year's tournament to say those are excuses. And Lonzo, they're pathetic excuses.
Well, I'm glad to know that there are some Clemson fans out there that are not happy with what the basketball program is. And I love what Wes hinted at. If you're going to get rid of one program or the other, he's basically saying keep the track team, get rid of the basketball team.
Yeah, I mean, look, I understand tough budget decisions are having to be made. People are still upset about Furman having to drop or electing to drop the baseball program, and it's frustrating, and I understand that. All right. But if Clemson basketball gets to where they have the ability to be, they will be a benefit to the school, to the athletic department. But if you're just going to keep using the ridiculously lazy excuse of we're a football school, I'm just going to hold up the Alabama A, the Florida State Spear, the Gator Chomp, the whatever Michigan people do, and I'm going to say, okay, is that true about them? Is Brutus too much of a football school because he's having basketball success? What about the Hokies of Vatech? It's a great point. And they're working under a brand new coach, and they had the success they had this year. A 2-day bye in the ACC tournament. It's weak. It's weak. And for a fan base that brags about how much better they are than everybody else, like Clemson loves to do, and that's not a shot. It's not a shot. I'd be doing the same damn thing if I was if my program, if my school was having the success of your school, I'd be bragging every damn day about how my athletic department is the best in the country. But you can't right now. And it's all because of the basketball program. And I'm pledging that you have my support if you want to make a change. And I appreciate Jock, I appreciate Wes, I appreciate Mike calling in. But it's going to take y'all demanding better. Quick break. We're back after this. Talk a little NASCAR on the Rob Brown Show. It's ESPN Upstate.
Prisma.
Yep.
You're listening to the Rob Brown Show. Let the game come to you, no matter where you go. In Anderson, Clemson, Greenville, and Spartanburg. ESPN Upstate is always streaming on the radio.com app.
Y'all, I am excited because on Monday, I get shot number 1. That's right. Your boy is getting vaccination shot number 1 on Monday. And I'm going through our friends at Prisma Health to do it. Super easy. I went to their website. I looked to see if I was eligible. Turns out I am. I went ahead, signed up through their My Chart, made an appointment right there on the website. Took me all of about 3 minutes to get myself scheduled. Why? Because their website, prismahealth.org, has streamlined everything. They understand when you need any help with a health issue, they want to make it as easy as possible. Nobody wants to have to go navigate a labyrinth just to get treatment to keep your health in tip top. That's why they have streamlined their website. It's super easy to use. They can get you in contact with their more than 2,400 providers across the upstate and the Midlands. They can help you find a location that's convenient to you. They can help you schedule that appointment so you can get in there and out of there at your own convenience. It's a phenomenal website for a organization that genuinely cares about you and your health and wants to make your life and your investment in your health the most important thing you have as easy as possible for you. Go to their website at prismahealth.org, prismahealth.org, and take a look. You can find a doctor, you can find a location, you can get your appointment scheduled, whether it's because you're ready to get vaccinated and you're eligible, whether it's you've got any health issue, or you just need a general practice doctor to make sure that you are on top of the game. Go to prismahealth.org, prismahealth.org. It's our friends Prisma Health right here in the upstate.
AutomotiveMap.com presents your
That's a good little segment right there. Hey, Jock, follow me on Twitter. Hello, Jock. It's a nice little buck you got there in the profile, Jock. I like that. Oh, appreciate you, Brian. Thank you very much, man. And you're not the first person who's called. Oh, you fixed it. I was saying you're not the first person who's called me Rod. Sometimes in a good way, sometimes not.
I realize I do not move very quickly in these slides down the hallway. They do not slide.
Because they're dad shoes, they're not made for speed, so they're made for comfort and efficiency.
Sandals, no matter what, are not made to move quickly in.
No, you need Florida boy training. I can full speed run in flip flops, man.
Yeah, but then that thing's digging in between your big toe and your saying it. Oh no!
See, that's why it's like playing guitar, Lonzo. I know you probably won't come across, but if you look at the edges of my fingers, they're callous, right? They're super callous because
if you recall, I was in a band for a really long time with guitarists. So yeah.
The fingers get these calluses on them from playing over the years. Wearing flip flops with the hilariously named thong between your toes. Yes, it's a little uncomfortable up front, but eventually you get used to that. And once you do, Lonzo, they are the most liberating shoes in the world.
Impossible. I'd rather be barefoot.
I mean,
speaking of which, the other reason is my left foot is in pain a little bit over the incident yesterday. So if you recall the incident that I'm blaming you on, kind of, when a branch fell like 30 feet and hit me right on top of the foot as I'm walking. And it still hurts. Would you have felt bad if it hit me in the head and I, was laying in the mud and my family found me hours later?
But since you're okay, it's hilarious.
I'm just glad the branch wasn't bigger because we had some trees fall last night that I don't know where they fell back in the woods, but they shook the whole house a couple of times.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not exaggerating. They're 30 to 40 foot trees. So yeah. They make a little bit of a noise.
He's not messing around. Real, unfiltered sports talk on the Rob Brown Show, ESPN Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is ESPN Upstate. Rob, Lonzo, you thanks to Mike, thanks to Jock, thanks to Wes for checking in. And we'll do this for the rest of the show. It's not the only topic we're going to get to, but I want your thoughts on Clemson shooty hoops. Do you accept where you are right now? Are you demanding more, or are you apathetic about where the program stands? That's the question that we are asking of you. 844-GSP-ESPN, 844-477-3776 is the number. 3 calls in the last half hour about it, and all 3 have said that they demand better from the athletic department, from the basketball program right now. All right. We have breaking news out of the National Football League, and it does impact the Carolina Panthers. Adam Schefter dropped the Shefty bomb earlier in the morning. Dolphins, Miami, trading the number 3 overall pick to the San Francisco 49ers in return for the number 12 pick, a 2021 third-round pick, and first-round picks in 2022 and 2023. So they're swapping first. They're giving them the next 2 firsts, and they're picking up a third-round pick this year. That is a block blockbuster deal with years of ramifications. Now, a couple of things that come out of it. On the obvious end, first and foremost, it tells me, Lonzo, that the San Francisco 49ers have immense belief in either Zach Wilson or Justin Fields or both, right? They don't know which one of those two, assuming that the New York Jets are going to pick a quarterback, right? And the popular thought right now is that the Jets are looking likely at Zach Wilson, which means that the 49ers believe that Justin Fields is the guy. This does a couple of things to the Carolina Panthers. Number one, if you want Wilson or Fields now, as opposed to Mac Jones or Trey Lance, your only option, Lonzo, is to trade with the Jets and jump up to number 2. Give them the 8. But the price has been set now, right? If the number 3 pick is worth a third this year and 2 more first rounders, then the number 2 pick is going to be worth a second this year, 2 more first rounders, and probably a second or third next year as well. They're going to want more
unless
than the 49ers gave.
Unless you were to sweeten the deal with a certain player.
Sure.
I think if you throw Christian McCaffrey in there, you probably don't have to pay as much.
Is it bad that I don't hate that move? Is it bad that I don't hate that move? I will give you, but let me phrase it. Time out. Let me start that over. If you believe that Fields or Wilson are the future, if you believe they're the future, problem is, Lonzo, and you've said this, and I agree with you, I have no idea if Zach Wilson or Justin Fields are the future of the NFL. I have no idea. They both look great so far. Zach Wilson looked great on the field last year, but as Mark Ryan has pointed out many times, against very mediocre competition. Justin Fields played for a national championship this year. Didn't go great, but of course they played against a juggernaut in Alabama. One of the better teams we've seen in the last handful of years.
Not to mention what he did to Clemson.
Sure thing. Smoked Clemson. Of course. If you believe that Fields or Wilson are the only route here, all right? Because Teddy Bridgewater ain't the guy. We're agreeing on that, right? So Teddy B ain't the guy.
Yeah, it's time for him to move on.
Okay, Teddy B ain't the guy. If you believe the only path to success is Justin Fields or Zach Wilson out of BYU, if you believe that's the only path to success, then I'm going 2 firsts and Christian McCaffrey. And I know Carolina Panthers fans are going to go, Rob, you're a friggin' idiot. But the guy spent the majority of last season on the bench with injuries. I hope against hope that was an oopsie daisy, that was not a pattern we're going to see for him moving forward. But the guy's going to be 25 years old when we kick off the season next year. Most running backs don't make it to 30, especially when they run the way that he runs. So let's say, Zoe, what's a fair number? Let's say he's got 4 more great years. Assuming he comes back and the injury bug doesn't bite again next year. I'll say he's got 4 great years. Zoe, what's more important to you? 4 great years out of one of the top 3 or 4 running backs in the game, or 12 great years out of a future quarterback? Which is more important?
I got to say, I love Christian McCaffrey. I want to throw that out there. I really, really do. But if you look at what Matt Rule has done, he's removed the majority of the old guard. Quite a few, the faces of the Panthers are all gone. The last face of the Panthers is Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
You move on from him, and then it is your team to rebuild however you want and make whoever the star, including whichever quarterback you go with. I don't want them to trade him, but I think that's the only way that they can get into number 2 is if they sweeten the deal with that, because I don't think they're going to want to give up as much as San Francisco did. And still, what a shocker that San Francisco is the team that did this.
It's not, to be honest with you, first off, I thought it was going to be Denver that did this, to be honest with you. I thought Denver was going to be the team that, and I assumed there was going to be some big trade like this. I thought it was going to be the Broncos. ends up being the 49ers. You listen to the way that they've been talking about Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Which is, oh, yeah, he's definitely the starter until he's not anymore.
Who's a better starter, Jimmy Garoppolo or Teddy Bridgewater?
Jimmy G. Take Jimmy G. Jimmy G's, despite the injuries, when Jimmy Garoppolo has been healthy, he's been a good quarterback.
So if Garoppolo is available and the Panthers cannot move up,
take him.
Okay.
Take him. Absolutely take him. Do a trade with the 49ers. I'm good with that. Absolutely. I'll take Jimmy G over even with the injury concerns, of which there are plenty with Jimmy Garoppolo. I'll take Jimmy G and the injury concerns over Teddy Bridgewater. Because look, he made it through a season last year, but I got injury concerns about Teddy Bridgewater. He takes some hits. That surgically reconstructed knee could give out at any minute. I'll take Jimmy G. That's a great thought. I didn't even think about that. So this puts Jimmy Garoppolo on the market, unless what I think is going to happen happens, which is they utilize Jimmy Garoppolo as a holding pattern for Zach Wilson, right? If they get Zach Wilson, if the Dolphins, scratch that, if the Jets take Justin Fields, and in the process of taking Justin Fields, they leave Zach Wilson on the table for San Francisco, then Jimmy Garoppolo is a one-year placeholder for Zach Wilson to get up to speed. And more often than not, when young quarterbacks get a year or at least some part of the season to get up to speed, they perform better than the ones who were just baptized by fire. I point to Justin Herbert in LA this year.
I agree with you there, but do you move up and trade that much to not put that guy on the field as soon as you possibly can?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. The fans, here's how it works. You run Jimmy G out there. Heck, Jimmy Garoppolo might still carry this team to positivity. I do it for two reasons. Number one, I give Zach Wilson, who I assume will be the pick, I give Zach Wilson 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. If Jimmy G is not doing well, I give him 4, 5, 6 weeks to catch up. If Jimmy Garoppolo does exceptionally well, then at the end of the year, I believe he's still under contract next year. I could be wrong, but I believe he's still under contract. If that's the case, I let Jimmy Garoppolo build up his trade value all year long. Or guess what? You got a rookie quarterback with a year under his belt. You got either way. You got big trade value next year, right? But if I'm Carolina, yeah, I'll make a play for Jimmy G. Why not? Make a play for Jimmy Garoppolo. Why not? Why not? Problem that you have now is what's going to happen from 4 through 7 if you don't move up. What's going to happen at 4 through 7 if you don't move up, right? We now know, as it stands, the Jacksonville Jaguars are taking Trevor Lawrence at number 1. At number 2, the New York Jets. I think, Zoe, do you disagree? I think they're going Justin Fields.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what they're going to do.
So Jets take Fields at number 2. Number 3, the San Francisco 49ers. They would not have moved up if they weren't going Zach Wilson there. So they got 3 off the board. That leaves you at 4, the Falcons, at 5, the Bengals, at 6, the Eagles, at 7, the Lions, at 8, the Panthers. And it leaves you 2 quarterbacks on the board. It leaves you Mac Jones of Alabama. It leaves you Trey Lance out of North Dakota State. Atlanta, Lonzo. Threat to take a quarterback. I say a solid maybe. Think so? Disagree, agree?
Now?
Yeah, in this draft.
Yeah, what I mean now, after this trade, when does Atlanta pick?
Atlanta's picking at number 4, just behind the 49ers.
I don't know.
Yeah, solid maybe.
I don't know.
Solid maybe. The Bengals at number 5, they are not going quarterback. The Eagles at number 6, another team. I don't see why they would. I think you give Jalen Hurts a year to be the guy. Solid chance that the Philadelphia Eagles take a quarterback, but a solid maybe, in my opinion. At number 7, the Detroit Lions have Jared Goff, so they're not going quarterback. So you got 2 quarterbacks in Mac Jones and Trey Lance on the board, and you've got 2 teams between you and number 3 that might go quarterback. Carolina ends up in one of 2 ways. Or one of 3 ways. At number 8, so either Mac Jones and Trey Lance are both on the board, Either Mac Jones or Trey Lance, one of the other is on the board, and Carolina's forced into taking that one. Or at number 8, they're both on the board, and you can take your pick. I went from yesterday, Lonzo, saying Carolina needs to be uber aggressive, trade up. And where did I say to trade up? To number 3, to the Miami Dolphins. Trade up, take who's left between Fields and Wilson at 3. They didn't do it. They got beat to the punch by the Niners. I'm at the point now, Zoe, where I'm thinking, I don't know if you're getting a quarterback for next year, buddy. And if you do, you're not going to be happy with who it is.
So if you're at 8 and you're not happy, do you try to trade down?
I don't know.
Get some more picks.
I mean, I want to say yes, but I also want to say that you have screwed yourself into a corner here. No thanks to Deshaun Watson, but you've screwed yourself into a corner here. You still have to have a quarterback. Do you make the trade for Jimmy Garoppolo on draft day? Do you refill the 49ers first-round picks they've lost from the last 2 years for Jimmy Garoppolo? A guy who's been good when he's healthy but injured a lot? Or do you let it ride? Do you have to go Teddy Bridgewater one more year and just play back-to-back rebuilding years?
The Eagles have traded the 6th pick in the draft to Miami for 12 and a 2022 first-rounder.
Oh, my goodness. So I did not know today was going to be that kind of day.
We're getting some movement today.
Oh, my goodness. I did not know we were going to have that kind of day today. Eagles trade their 6th pick to the Dolphins for number 12 and their 2022 first-round pick. Teams also swap mid-round picks. Eagles 156 for Miami's number 123. So the Eagles are now at pick number 12, which the Dolphins literally minutes before took from the 49ers. So now the 49ers are 3. The Dolphins are back to 6. And the Eagles are back to 12. The Dolphins are going quarterback, Lonzo. They're going quarterback. They don't believe in Tua. So now the Carolina Panthers are definitely screwed unless they jump up to the Falcon spot. Unless they jump to the Falcons or the Bengals spot, because now you got the Jags taking TL, the Jets taking Fields, the 49ers taking Wilson. I would assume you got the Falcons at 4, the Bengals at 5, the Dolphins at number 6, which means that they're going to take Trey Lance. So now the team that said a couple of days ago that they did not believe that Mac Jones is worth the number 8 pick, Lonzo, they might not have a friggin' choice. Wow. All right, we got to take a break. Were you going to add something there, Lonzo? I don't want to cut you out.
No, I was just going to say, hey, they're going to trade out of 8. They are. If they can't get up to 2, they're just trading out of 8. There's no sense staying there.
Calling the shot. All right, let's break that down next. Man, I did not mean for this to be an NFL hour, but here the hell we are. Wow. Quick break. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
Your chance to bank $1,000 in the $1,000 cash stash is coming just before SportsCenter at the top of the hour.
Man, Zoe Shefty just completely train wrecked that segment. Unreal. I plan to talk NASCAR in this hour, but I guess not. Wow.
I think the real question is, are we done yet?
I hear the disembodied voice, Alonzo. Oh, there he is. Your screen froze up on an empty chair. I don't know, man. If you're Matt Rule, you're scrambling right now, aren't you?
It's one of those things. Did they know this was coming? Because all these guys talk to each other. Did they have a clue that this was about to happen? I can tell you, everyone in ESPN seems shocked as far as the TV goes, and they're scrambling, trying to get as many people on to talk about this as possible, which they should. Live radio is awesome when you start seeing these sort of things happen. All the speculation. Maybe Panthers stay. I don't. Maybe the Dolphins are the only ones out there just making moves today. Maybe nobody else will do anything, but I hope there are some more moves. And my allergies are going nuts too, by the way. Just all of a sudden.
Close my cam to get some more Africa going because I just can't stop. 2 days of rain and all the pollen decided today's the day.
Well, it's supposed to be up to like 80 today. And after all the bad storms we had yesterday, hopefully we will have a quiet evening. That would be awesome. Several things out there, people saying that Panthers are just going to stick with Eddie.
They might have to now.
I was going to say they may not have a choice. So do the Dolphins just sit back and smile and say, watch this, and watch everything go crazy and put everything into shambles?
Just watch the world burn for a little while.
One minute.
Maybe they go offensive line now. Maybe they go Penny Sewell, best offensive lineman on the board at number 8. And that's the other spot of concern for me.
Yeah, I'm never going to get mad at a good offensive lineman.
No. Yeah, Keegan, I think they get stuck with Mac Jones. They take Penny Sewell, or they try to trade for a quarterback, trade that pick back, trade out of 8. Here's the problem. I don't see enough value on the board unless you can find a team that really
manufactured locally for the Carolinas. This is the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate, 97.7 FM Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg, and everywhere on the radio.com app.
So Keegan asked on the live stream, who's projected to be on the board at number 8? Who would Carolina even draft at that spot? I'm looking at a couple of options now, right? Offensive line. I told you yesterday, offensive line is where I need him to go. So if you're at number 8, most projections had Penny Sewell still on the board and coming off at 9 or 10. I don't know that you don't go offensive line here. So take the best offensive lineman on the board. I mean, whether it's Bridgewater, Garoppolo, or somebody else in free or not free agency on a trade. Maybe you go the best offensive lineman on the board here. That's the other big spot of concern for Carolina.
Yeah, our guest yesterday was talking about how the offensive line has never been that good, and that's been the problem with like Cam and some other guys. So why not shore up the offensive line if there's someone there that's good enough to come in and be a starter right away? You got to do that.
And Penny Sewell certainly is. He appears to have all the. I mean, every scout grade I've looked at him says he's start ready. He's ready to be the starter in week 1. I think you might be forced into going offensive line now. Dolphins traded number 3 to the 49ers, and then they take that number 12 pick, they package it, they move back up to number 6. I got to tell you, man, how about the Fins, man? Dolphins coming out swinging today. Pick up a couple of first.
We expected the Jets to do something like this, but not the Dolphins. So it is a big surprise.
Well, it's interesting because I thought if the Dolphins back out, that means that they're happy with Tua Tagovailoa as the permanent starter. But for them to back out from 3 to 12 and then 12 back up to 6 says that they're not. Says that they're looking QB and they think that I think they get Trey Lance there, right? I mean, you got Fields, you got Wilson, and you got Lawrence. All right, so let's start with this. So I think you're looking at Lawrence 1, Fields 2, Wilson 3. You comfortable with that? That's what I think your first 3 picks are.
I am comfortable with that.
All right. So that leaves Trey Lance and Mac Jones on the board at 4. Atlanta's at 4, Cincinnati's at 5. So, if you're Carolina at this point, you can trade up to the 4 or the 5. If you trade to the 5, remember, you're taking a risk. Because there is some risk that the Atlanta Falcons are looking quarterback, and they may take Trey Lance there. I had to tell you, you know who the ultimate winner in all this is, Alonzo? It's Trey Lance. It's Trey Lance. I thought Trey Lance was a guy the earliest he was coming off the board was going to be 8. Earliest off the board to Carolina at 8. But now that there's a 1-2-3 run at quarterback right off the bat, which is not unexpected, but now that we know there's a 1-2-3 run, plus you still got Carolina, plus you still got Denver, plus you got potentially Atlanta in the mix for a quarterback. The Eagles at 6, potentially on the board for a quarterback. The 49ers have moved up. You're probably not looking for another team looking for a quarterback until the Vikings at 14. Maybe the Raiders could add some depth. Washington at 19. Trey Lance is going to be the winner here because that dude's now coming off the board in the top 10. Somewhere in the top 10. I thought he was 8 at earliest. He might be gone at 6 now. He might be gone at 6. What a day. What a segment. This all happened in a segment. Hell, what were we talking about, Zoe? We were talking like Carolina or Clemson basketball.
I believe so.
And now we're an NFL show for the rest of the day. Are you kidding me, Adam Schefter? You ruined my show. I did all that show prep for no damn reason.
Now, if someone would just trade for number 1. Wow.
No chance. Although
I want the chaos, man. That's what I want. I want the chaos.
Jacksonville could probably get 4 first rounders for that number 1 pick, honestly. For Trevor Lawrence, with the value that people are putting on Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, and now, even if indirectly, Trey Lance. Jacksonville could get like 4 first rounders. It would be committing to like 3 or 4 more years of rebuilding under Urban Meyer. Herb's not going to do. Herb didn't show up to coach a rebuilding football team for 3 or 4 years. Herb showed up for a rebuilding year and then to be competitive. If Herb's not competitive in 2 years, Lonzo, he's going to have heart problems. Watch. If the Jacksonville Jaguars aren't competitive with TL16 after next year, Herb's going to need to spend more time with his family. Watch. 844-GSP-ESPN. Text us 71307. Start your text with ESPN. At Cold Take Jim on Twitter, Cold Take Jim says, if my choice is Mac Jones or some jobber at the 8th pick, I'm trading down. So now we got a couple of Carolina Panthers fans who have reached out and said they're trading down. Hurricane and Dolphin Jeff says, I'm thinking Miami is not done moving their first round pick around. I think Carolina could not hurt the, well, your text got split up. I'll see when the rest of it comes in. Jeff says, I'm thinking that Miami is not done moving their first pick around. I think Carolina could not hurt thee, and then it kind of split up. So there you go. There you go. Let's see what else we got on the text line. Talking about Clemson basketball. Clemson could have easily went and got Mike Young, which makes the Vatek success a little bit worse. Yep, agree with that. And at ESPN, were you able to get the shot due to being at risk for obesity? Well, first off, jerk, I'm not at risk for obesity. I am there, pal. All right? I'm there. It is what it is. Yes, I qualify there.
That's pretty messed up.
That's pretty really messed up. Pretty messed up. Yes, I get the shot because I'm at risk. At risk. It's 100% risk, but yes, at risk for obesity. I actually talked the other day with a nurse who told me that at least 2 or 3 hospitals in the area have a surplus of vaccines right now. That they're actually shipping vaccines back out because, they only last for so long, so they're shipping them back out. So that's why I'm grabbing it. I would have waited, but I'm being told that the hospitals in the area are actually shipping them back out. So because I am at a 100% risk for obesity, texter, you jerk, yes, I'm getting the shot. Get off my big fat behind. Quick break. Back after this.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your Amazon or Google smart speaker. Just say, play ESPN Upstate.
The texters have 0 chill today. 0 chill. That's messed up. I'm going to take a break and go eat a snack. I'll be right back. All right. After a sneeze attack, I'm back. Sorry about that. Oh, man. I'm also going to blow my nose. Not that you cared. BRB. All right, back. Wow, that was rough.
So we went a little late in that break. So we are coming back with the money sounder.
Okay. Perfect.
Blame the Dolphins for us going late.
Blame the Dolphins for many things.
So I'm still trying to figure out what happened with, sometimes it's the game that does that. So the problem that you and I had communicating yesterday on the video game. Also maybe the fact that my son and daughter were playing Destiny and that could have something to do with it. I don't know, but, it's a shame we couldn't communicate because I was going to tell you a couple things that you could have did when you were over there that would have, I was going to give you some things too.
I went down to the bottom of the hill. For those of you who don't know, I jumped on yesterday. I saw Zoe was playing some Fallout, so I jumped on to play with him. And Zoe's got a house in the game that's nicer than mine in real life. I walked down to the bottom of the hill across the road from you, and there was like a little graveyard, and there were two big crab bag guys down there. And I just punched him in the face and got some meat. And that was the extent of my experience yesterday.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those guys because I noticed you were beat up pretty bad when you got there. I heard you saying you're being shot.
Yeah. They were like two zombie dudes, and they were like digging on the side of the road, and they lit me the blank up.
Yeah, they're scorched. And the way this game is, it scales. So the ones who shoot at me would like probably insta kill you since I'm like at level 37 or something like that. Yeah. It's
let's see. Oh, I don't hate this.
30 seconds.
Ryan says, have you ever heard of Airsoft? Might need to get the show for men to agree to a 2v2 match at the local arena in Anderson called Battle Cat Sports. Ryan, I used to play Airsoft in high school. Like, I was pretty good. It'd been a minute, but I don't mind putting some Airsoft beads into Mark Ryan.
I'm down. And I'm the bigger target, but I'm down. Yeah, I'll take a few to give a few. That's all I'm saying.
You most certainly present more target than the show for men does. Except Diesel's pecs. Your opportunity to win $1,000 in the $1,000 cash dash on ESPN Upstate. The word for this upcoming 2 o'clock hour is plant, P-L-A-N-T. You can buy a lot of plants, P-L-A-N-T. If you win the $1,000 cash dash, we've now had 4 winners on ESPN Upstate. You might be number 5. Text plant, P-L-A-N-T, to 72881, 72881 for your chance to win $1,000 in the $1,000 cash dash on ESPN Upstate, powered by BetQL. Let BetQL's proven data and analytics help you become a better. Download the BetQL app today. Text and data rates may apply. Again, text plant, P-L-A-N-T, to 72881 for your chance to win $1,000 on the $1,000 cash dash from ESPN Upstate. Quick break. Back after this for hour 3 of the Rob Brown Show. This is ESPN Upstate. I'm gonna blow my nose one more time, and then Ryan, don't go anywhere because I'm gonna respond to you here in just a second.
It is weird that we're both getting hit with this stuff at exactly the same time. Because there's a couple of times you asked me a question, and the reason why I had to turn away and didn't answer right away is because I was fighting off a sneeze. Could be worse, though. Could be hiccups.
I have had hiccup spells on the air, and they will wreck your show. And the only option is hold your breath for a minute, which is not great as a talk show host.
Well, it helps when you have someone who can jump in and save you a little bit. It's worse when you are completely alone and you have those problems.
Yep. I hosted and produced my own show for probably 10 of my 15 years in this game. And when you get the hiccups or you get a case of the sneezes in the middle of a segment, there's nothing you can do except go to break.
Yeah, and you hate that. You hate going to break in the minute because it always seems to hit you like right a minute or two into just coming back, and it's like, I gotta go to break.
Yep. Hookset and Real says Fallout ? On PlayStation. Hook said, I'm playing on Xbox. Zoe, I think you're an Xbox 2 guy, Xbox guy as well, right?
I have both, but yeah, I'm playing on Xbox.
It's cross-platform though, isn't it?
I don't think so. I'll have to look into that. I don't think so.
I thought it was cross-platform. But yeah, Hook said, if you want to email me, Rob Brown at espnupstate.com. If you play, if it is cross-platform, we can play, or if you play Warzone, we can jump on that too. I got a couple of listeners I play Warzone with now. Ryan says, I'm one of the refs at Battle Cat Sports, so feel free to come on down if you get a shot on the weekends. I'm going to tell you straight up that I am in. I'll have to resupply. I got rid of all of my airsoft guns a couple of years back, and I haven't played in years. But man, I'd love to come down and get back into it 100%.
How does it feel to get shot by one of those? I've never.
It's bad. Now there are some dudes that have like the top of the line airsoft guns, and they shoot automatic at about 12 million beats a second, and they can like jump a little bit.
Unofficial Rob Brown Lockdown.
Represents being real. Yeah.
Real, unfiltered sports.
But you haven't played it here yet, so they may all be that way.
This is the Rob Brown Show.
Yeah.
Only on ESPN.
ESPN Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show, hour number 3, gets going right now on ESPN Upstate. Rob, Lonzo, you be a part of the program. Certainly want to have you jump on board with us. 844 GSP ESPN, 844 GSP ESPN. If you want to chat with us. In fact, I'm working on getting us a Panthers guest right now to talk a little bit about what impact this is going to have on Carolina. Zoe, halfway through the half-hour segment, last segment, Adam Schefter just completely grabbed the wheel and cranked it left right off road. What a day for the draft, man.
Yeah, to the point where I saw it and I was like, that can't be right. And you do the old, let me check a couple sources. And then while I'm checking, it flashed up on the TV. He's like, yep, that's absolutely right.
844-GSP-ESPN, 844-477-3776 is the number to be a part of it. Text us 71307, 71307 is the number to be a part of the program. Text us. You can also tweet us at The Rob Brown Show, at The Rob Brown Show on Twitter, and at Lonzo on Word on Twitter, as well as at ESPN Upstate. Join the live stream at facebook.com/ESPN Upstate, facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. A couple of texts that have come in. ESPN JT JT says, sorry for the obesity text. I apologize for making fun of the fact you have more square footage than a regular human being, which must be a heavy load to bear. The Upstate is like a NASCAR team, and you are the gas can guy refueling us weekdays again. Sorry. I don't care. As Lonzo can point out to you, I don't take anything seriously ever. So fine.
And as far as burns go, he's well written. That's well done. Very well done. I'm just happy he's not me. So there's that.
Oh man. All right. Well, you know what? I'm just going to close the text line for the day, I think. Let's see. I've been called Tinky Winky. I've been called things that I cannot read on the air for the sake of my own career and FCC violations. And then I got straight up asked to my face, are you getting the vaccine first because you're fat? Yes.
Welcome to the Upstate, yo.
Yes, I am. Finally, Lonzo. Finally. A benefit of being the fat guy on the station. Finally. Oh, all right. Well, we're just completely off the rails. 844-GSP. ESPN is the number to be a part of the program. Texas 71307, 71307 with the headline ESPN. Justin says, what are your thoughts on Shaka Smart leaving Texas for the Marquette job? My answer there, Justin, is I'm not shocked. My knee-jerk reaction is what in the world is he doing? But I got to thinking a little bit about it. It makes perfect sense that Shaka Smart would leave Texas even after bringing his team to the tournament this year. It makes sense for a few reasons. Number one, Shaka Smart is from the Northeast, so he's going home. That's the first big chunk of it. He's going home. He's going to have, obviously, an easy shot recruiting up there because he knows the area, he knows the schools, he knows the coaches. So it's going to help. But the bigger thing here, and this is something that I think college fans, a lot like the hardcore college fans think about, but a lot of them don't. You know what he doesn't have to deal with anymore? He doesn't have to deal with the Texas Athletic Department anymore. And what a garbage fire that's been for the past few years, right? I mean, Texas for years was one of the most dominant athletic departments in the country, and now they're not. Now they are not, man. They're not. That athletic department is being run, and this is why I caution. And I'll tell you this specifically: Clemson, though South Carolina is in this mix as well. So I know that the big money boosters that put a lot into programs, I know that they think that because they got money, they're smart I know they think because they got money. I'm talking the top tier boosters, right? I'm talking the top 1% boosters, the folks who are given dozens of millions of dollars a year to athletic departments. And I've noticed this with a lot of schools I've been around, though not all of them. Those top tier boosters, they think because they've got a lot of money that they know best. They're smart. They get it. They're better than the rest of the people who run sports and athletics departments. And so they think they can start calling shots. And if you don't hire the guy I want, I'm not going to give you $20 million next year. Not going to give that athletic department that big chunk of change. And what happens is if you let those people start to run your program, what ends up happening is they basically start tanking the program. And that's what happened at Texas, right? That's what happened at Texas, clear as day. Look at the football program. Football program, the last couple of coaching hires since Mac Brown left, have been hiring who the boosters have wanted them to hire. Hey, Zoe, what can you tell me about Texas football for the past, 7-8 years?
You know what? You don't want to go there because this is not a good place. You know, it hasn't been doing really well. You know, you need to come over here. We've got our things under control. Texas, dumpster fire.
Yeah. Texas let their boosters start making the decisions. And because of that, they have been bad at football. They have just lost the best basketball coaching. And granted, Shaka had other reasons to go to Marquette. They're still working on that contract. It's not 100% official yet, but even if he does, if he doesn't sign it, if you're Texas, now you're working on getting Shaka out of there because he clearly has other priorities elsewhere, right? Obviously, when you start letting your high-value boosters start to dictate to you how the show gets run, it will tank you. It will tank you. It will end your program. And the Longhorns of Texas right now are finding that out in the worst kind of way, man. The worst kind of way. Now, I'm not saying that's happening at a place like Clemson or a place like South Carolina. I'm just warning you. Be careful. Justin brings up a great point. He says Shaka seemed to succeed at the slightly smaller VCU, so Marquette might be a better fit. Maybe, Justin. Maybe. He does. He did great things at VCU. When I was down in Florida, VCU knocked Florida State out of the where was that game, Justin? Was it Sweet 16? I think VCU bumped FSU out, and Shaka Smart got on the map. Dude's a good coach. Texas wasn't in the tournament because Shaka Smart's not a good coach. This is less about a coach moving on and more about the fact that Texas's athletic department is not run by the athletic department. It's run by the people with money. It's run by the people who donate and say, I'm only going to keep donating if you do what I want you to do. I got to tell you, I know that it's a money game at the end of the day. I know, I understand. But I can also tell you that if I'm the chancellor, if I'm the athletic director at Texas, keep your money. Keep your money because y'all have flamed the program out. Texas used to be a massive institution on the national scale in basketball, in football, in baseball. Where are they now? Where are they now? They got the Longhorn Network. That's great. They got money coming in. But nobody cares about Texas athletics outside of Texas. Texas shows up in the tournament. They're damn near considered an easy out this year. That's why Shaka Smart left, and I'm 0% shocked by it. All right, let's run to a break early. Appreciate the text, appreciate the calls. We're going to keep addressing those as the show rolls on, but we got to look through our Sweet 16 matchups through the weekend. Plus, David Rhodes, the host of the other half of the Panthers Nation podcast, is going to join in here in just a little while to tell us what he thinks will come out of the Panthers draft now that it has been shuffled. Sweet 16 talk coming up next on the Rob Brown Show. It's ESPN Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your phone everywhere on the radio.com app.
We are going to be joined by David Rhodes, the other half of the Panthers Nation podcast, coming up, I think, in the next segment to talk about what the shuffling of picks between the Dolphins, 49ers, and who was the other one? Dolphins, 49ers, and Eagles has done today. It's going to make Carolina's draft very interesting. They're going to have to be real careful with how they navigate through this.
Your guest is standing by.
Outstanding, James.
Gee, I wonder why Sam Darnold is trending.
He gone.
$30 seconds.
All right.
Been waiting all show to hear the MMA news that you have, and now we're probably not going to get to it, and I'm not going to know what it was.
We'll figure it out.
Stinking Dolphins.
Just ruin everything.
Call 844-GSP-ESPN. Text keyword ESPN and your message to 71307. Get in the game on the Rob Brown Show. Only on ESPN Upstate.
To the phone lines we go. We welcome in the other half of the Panthers Nation podcast. You hear our buddy Rashad Beard every Thursday at 1 o'clock, but his partner David Rhodes joins us here on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate to discuss what has gone from a nice, calm, relaxing day of talking sports and hanging out to absolute chaos in the National Football League. David, my man, thanks for taking a minute last minute, buddy. Appreciate you coming on.
Not a problem. You know, you gave me a reason to take the rest of the day off. I was getting ready to hang it up for the day anyway. So,
my man,
I'm here.
Looking for a reason for half a day off and found it. I respect the hustle, bud. I do. All right, let's talk about, before we get into where this might go for a Panthers, we watched the 49ers jump up to where the Miami Dolphins were. The Miami Dolphins ended up all the way back at number 12. Now they're back up to number 6. I mean, it's just been a hectic day over the past couple of minutes. Your thoughts on kind of how this is all playing out right now?
I mean, we all knew that the Dolphins was not going to stay at 3, right? I think that was a given. It was just a matter of who was going to be willing to pay the price. And the 49ers made the executive decision that they were willing to give up 2 future first-round picks, which is what I thought it was going to take to get that high for us anyway, which is why I was kind of, from a Panthers perspective, against doing that. Because if we're trying to rebuild this team, we can't be giving up that much draft capital to do it. We got to start building our pieces first in free agency and in the draft. So from my standpoint, I think San Fran feels like they're just a quarterback away. And I think that's what they're going to go get. And that's why they did what they had to do to go get them.
So we're looking at now the Panthers sitting there at 8. The way it looks to play out to me, the Jaguars take Trevor Lawrence 1. The Jets take Justin Fields 2. The Niners take, at the number 3 spot, Zach Wilson out of BYU. That leaves Mac Jones on the board. It leaves Trey Lance on the board. The Falcons might go quarterback. The Bengals won't. The Dolphins might go quarterback. The Lions won't. So if we stay at 8, Carolina, if we stay at 8, you're looking at Mac Jones or Trey Lance or both or neither being on the board. I mean, if you're Carolina right now, you either, if you want a quarterback, you got to be aggressive if you believe Jones or Lance is a guy, or not. Are they committed to going quarterback still at this point?
I hope they're not. I mean, I think to get Lance could possibly still be there at 8. And if they did make the decision to take Lance, that's fine. But then you know for a fact that if you take Lance, Teddy is sitting there. Teddy's starting. Like, Teddy's going to be the starter. Like, because I think Lance isn't ready to go straight in. Some people say Mac Jones is, but I don't think Mac Jones is worth a top 10 pick, in my opinion. So from that standpoint, I would rather them go with the best player available. Like, you're going to have some pretty good studs that you can get at 8. Like, and we have a lot of needs. It's not like quarterback is the only need that we have. We could use a corner. I mean, we could use another linebacker. We could use an offensive tackle, particularly a left tackle. And the way that the left tackles are, there aren't too many available in the draft, but there will be a pretty good one sitting there at 8 for you. If the Bengals decide not to go with Sewell, Slater will be sitting there at 8 for you. So you got options from that standpoint. Like, we don't have to necessarily go quarterback knowing that we have so many pieces to fill. And I think the Panthers have done an outstanding job in free agency so far, but there's still some glaring holes in that offensive line that we really need to fix.
Talking with David Rhodes, he's the co-host of the Panthers Nation podcast here on the Rob Brown Show as we watch this crazy day in the NFL draft play out. So we'll come back in just a second to who and where the Panthers might end up with. But before we do, I think at this point, the question that everybody's looking at is Teddy Bridgewater starting next year for the Carolina Panthers?
I think before today, I would say no. I think today, I think yeah. After what just happened over the past hour, which has been kind of crazy to say the least, I have to give a shout out to Miami and what the moves they made, because they ended up trading back up to 6, because I think for them it was about getting more pieces for Tua. But and they figured that they could skip those pieces at 6. But for us, I think Teddy's going to end up. Teddy will be starting for us week 1. I think we're at that point. I don't see a scenario where he's not. Like, unless the only way that could happen is if Teddy asks for his release, and I don't envision that. But you're paying Teddy starter money. I mean, you give him an opportunity to excel. You get him more pieces around him, particularly improve the defense, get another left tackle potentially for him, and just see what happens.
Lonzo.
Last year's team isn't as bad as what the record shows, right?
Yeah. Lonzo brought up earlier. Now, I said, look, there's one stat from last year that tells me Teddy's not the guy. And if Teddy Bridgewater's starting this year, you're basically committing to one more rebuilding year. 0 for 8. In half the games last year, the Panthers had an opportunity to tie or take the lead on the final drive. Teddy was 0 for 8. And it's not entirely on him. Obviously, with Christian McCaffrey out, you lost your biggest weapon to help with that. It's not entirely on Teddy, but it is a condemning stat. Lonzo brought up a possibility earlier, and that is, with San Francisco now sitting at 3, most of us believe that they're going quarterback, likely Zach Wilson, although maybe Justin Fields if Zach Wilson goes number 2. Is there a possibility that Carolina could maybe try to put out there a trade for Jimmy Garoppolo out of San Francisco for Teddy Bridgewater and bring Jimmy G to Carolina, a guy that's been really good when he stays healthy, but a guy that's had some injury concerns over and over?
But I'm going to be honest, man. I don't think Jimmy is Jimmy really that much of an upgrade over what we have? And that's the thing for me, right? I think bringing Jimmy in is just we don't want Teddy no more type of situation. Not, he's actually better than Teddy. Like, I think people forget that Jimmy Garoppolo had a lot around him. Like, he had a lot of pieces around him. He had an outstanding defense around him. He had weapons and a run game around him. Teddy kind of didn't have that. So, like, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, because the first half of the season, the defense was giving up everything. So I don't think it's worth the upgrade. If it even is an upgrade, I question that at this point.
Fair enough.
Because I know there's been rumblings about New England potentially trading for Jimmy Garoppolo, but part of that is because he knows the system, and then that's still not a guarantee that he's going to beat out Cam. So I'm not convinced that Jimmy's an upgrade over Bridgewater. I'm just not convinced. Like, I think at that point it's about just switching quarterbacks to play carousel. It's still going to be, in my eyes, it's still going to potentially end up being another rebuild year.
David
so
Rhodes,
I would rather you just build on the pieces that you have.
Sure. David Rhodes is the host of the Panthers Nation podcast, joining us here on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. David, I'll throw one more at you. If the Panthers do decide to stay at 8, if they do not decide to trade back, I know Denver's looking at a quarterback. Maybe they get desperate if they want Trey Lance or Mac Jones, if either one is available at 8. If they don't trade back, if they stay at 8, my thoughts go offensive line. If Penei Sewell is available to me, that's a best player available. You mentioned cornerback. What do you think is most likely? My thought has been Carolina's got to upgrade the offensive line, either A, for Teddy Bridgewater next year, B, to help try to keep Christian McCaffrey healthy if those injury concerns are going to become a part of his career like they were last year, and C, go ahead and start retooling for whoever the QB of the future is in 2022. My thoughts, offensive line, but you mentioned some other positions. If they stay at 8, give me 2-3 guys you think are likely picks for Carolina there.
For me, perfect scenario if the Bengals decide not to take Penei Sewell, that should be the pick. And I think that's regardless if there's a quarterback there or not. That's my opinion. So if Lance is sitting there at 8 and Penei Sewell's there at 8, they need to take Penei Sewell. That's just my opinion on that matter. Now, that being said, at 8, perfect scenario Penei, Patrick Surtain, Slater out of Northwestern, I believe that's where he plays, and Michael Parsons. I have no problem with them taking Parsons if he's sitting there at 8. Because I believe that you should take the best player available. And every single person I just named fills a need. So you want to, the perfect scenario, you want BPA and fill a need. And we're going to have that opportunity at 8.
Perfect. David Rhodes is the co-host of the Panthers Nation podcast. You can find them on Twitter at Panther Nation PC, but their good stuff is all on YouTube. They go live every Monday night with a live stream. They also pop in. You guys popped on live earlier for the BYU Pro Day. I saw you do it last week for the Georgia Pro Day, for the Alabama Pro Day. David, if y'all put out, when the hell do y'all sleep, man?
That's Rashad. I sleep. No, Rashad is all about the draft, man. He's all about the pro days. So, he loves doing that type of stuff. Like for me, I'm more on the fantasy realm. So my lack of sleep probably is going to start after the draft.
I love it. David Rhodes, co-host of the Panther Nation podcast. Hey, man, look, I know it was last minute, but today's a crazy day. Glad to get some Carolina perspective. David, thank you very much, man. And we'll get your boy Rashad back on next Thursday. We'll get you on. We'll definitely get you on when we start doing some fantasy stuff, man.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You got it, buddy. That is David Rhodes. He is the co-host of the Panthers Nation podcast. You can follow him on Twitter at ChampD1012. Follow him and Rashad both at Panther Nation PC on Twitter. Quick break. I promise Lonzo some MMA UFC stuff. I'm going to drop the news to him in just a minute, get his reaction, and then Twitter trending topics wraps up on a Friday. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is ESPN Upstate.
You could have your own celebration dance with free cash.
Good interview for some last-minute stuff from my man David there. Twitter is hardcore speculating that Jimmy G is going to get traded to New England. Do you think Cam would go to San Francisco or back up Jimmy G? Cam wants to be a starter, but I don't see that it's a guarantee that Jimmy Garoppolo beats out Cam Newton, right? Like, I know he knows the system, and I know Belly has been big on Jimmy G since he got there a few years back. But in all honesty, is there anybody right now that is willing to bet that Cam Newton can't beat Jimmy Garoppolo out for the starting job? I don't know that Jimmy G automatically starts there. I really don't. I think, again, I don't know why everybody's off the Cam Newton bandwagon. Look at the roster that Cam Newton played with last year and tell me that anybody would have been successful. The only quarterback that's been successful with some of the garbage that New England has put on the field in recent years has been Tom Brady. 24/7 Sports is reporting that the Eagles tried trading up to 3 for Zach Wilson, so maybe Jalen isn't. If this is true, Keegan, and this is interesting, if this is true, and the Eagles did try to trade up for 3 for Zach Wilson, then Jalen ain't the guy, and that means that Philly might go with Trey Lance, which would then more than likely definitely, or would have gone for Trey Lance, bumps him back to 12. They may not be done either at the 12 spot. They may not be done, either. So I love that it's Friday, but I kind of wish we had one more show this week because I could do an entire 3 hours just on what the hell the draft looks like right now.
Oh, absolutely. But we're going to we probably will get more movement either today or coming up pretty soon. Maybe this weekend, people are going to be going, and all these NFL teams are going to be, okay, what can we do? Yeah. We got to make our move now. What can we do? So who knows? Between now and and Monday, there might be a lot more moves.
Yeah, there may be some GMs that are sitting around the country panicking right now, man. Panicking. And I wouldn't be shocked about it, to tell you the truth. I don't know that I wouldn't be panicking if I was a GM in the league right now. If I had eyes on a quarterback, this is just shuffled everything.
Unless you're a team like Tampa Bay or Kansas City or a team like that, and you're just like, yeah, we're drafting so far down anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
1 minute.
All right, let's see. Ryan says, we have a shop with everything you need as well as rental guns and packages, and I will let you use my personal gear to get you started since I can't use it when I'm working. Ryan, here's what I want. We're going to get Diesel and Mark down there. Me and Lonzo, we're going to go 2v2. I want you to put Mark and Diesel in rental gear. I will pay you to borrow your personal setup. I just want to smoke Mark, Ryan, and Diesel.
Hey, I'll buy a gun for the day.
Just for the day.
Yes, for that.
Ryan says, yeah, get the men down to the arena on Saturday or Sunday around 2, and we can get you guys set up. We can even set up a private party.
Hey, Rob can read. So he says,
oh my God,
email Rob Brown at ESPNUpstate.com and we'll put him to the test. This is the Rob Brown Show, local sports talk on ESPN Upstate.
All right, so we may have just set up the pay-per-view event of the century.
Yeah, because you haven't done this live on the air yet. You have to do this. This is how a challenge works.
All right, so I am laying it out now. On our stream at Facebook.com/ESPN Upstate, Twitter.com/The Rob Brown Show, and YouTube.com/The Rob Brown Show. We had our buddy Ryan, who has jumped in and said, have you ever heard of Airsoft? You might need to get the show for men to agree to a 2v2 match down at the local arena in Anderson called Battle Cat Sports. I used to play Airsoft back when I was in high school. Played Airsoft all the time. Me and the guys, and I used to be pretty good at it. A little bit of a tactician is your boy Rob Brown. Ryan then said that he is one of the referees at Battle Cat Sports. He said, feel free to come on down if you get a shot on the weekend. I told Ryan on the stream that, I used to play, but a number of years ago I quit playing, so I sold off all my Airsoft gear and I don't have it anymore. Well, Ryan has said that down at the shop they have a store, and then they have rental gear that you can rent stuff out for a day, et cetera, et cetera. Ryan said, get the show for men host down to the arena on Saturday or Sunday around 2, and we can get you guys set up, or we can set up a private party that you guys can stream or something for a bit. So I'm going to straight up ask the question. If Lonzo and I were to take Mark, Ryan, and Diesel out to Battle Cats for a little round of Airsoft, in which Lonzo and I obviously humiliate Diesel and Mark Ryan at Airsoft. Humiliate them thoroughly. And we live stream that. Would you guys watch it? Would you guys watch me and Lonzo tear into Mark Ryan and Diesel? The show for boys dominating the shows for men on an Airsoft field. Would you guys be interested in that? Because I got to tell you, Lonzo, I'm very interested in doing it.
I absolutely want to do this, but let me just pour mouth myself, because I know the head of the show for men is already going, I ain't doing that. Just keep in mind that, I am old and decrepit with a reconstructed knee. I'm 52 years old. I'm a grandpa. So how could, I don't move very fast compared to you. So why wouldn't you want a chance to go down there and shoot me with some Airsoft? I mean, this is your opportunity to do what we know you've always wanted to do. And now you can do it. So, I mean, obviously, like I said, and I'm a wide target. I'm a slow target. You're a younger man. Why not do this?
I'm just saying. We bring it. Hook, Set, and Reel on YouTube says, oh, yeah, get it on. Justin says, Please light up the Man Show host. Prayer hands emoji. Yeah.
Now, I need to know a little bit, and this might help that guy make his decision. So as far as gear goes, what kind of protection do you have in an airsoft arena? I mean, I'm guessing goggles is part of it for goggles,
sure. There are some guys who go like full out gear, right? Like SWAT team gear. I've never got that. You're presenting a bigger target, right? You're presenting a bigger target if you go full out. Look, it's going to leave just a little bit of a welt. The way we used to play, we did like the compressed CO2 guns back in the day. It'll leave a touch of a welt, but I got to tell you, Alonzo, pain is temporary, pride is forever. And when we get done absolutely wrecking the host of the show for men on the airsoft field, I may have some welts on me, but nothing will compare to walking back into the studio on Monday with our matching ESPN Upstate 2021 Airsoft Battle Show for Men versus Show for Boys Championship.
Which is
T-shirts on.
Yeah, which we would have to get T-shirts for that. I thought you were going to quote some Keanu there when you pain heals, chicks dig scars,
yes.
Glory lasts forever.
There's an old country song, pain hurts, glory fades, and all you're left with is the memories made. Ryan C. says we have masks that are required and vest for wimps for rent. I got to tell you, I know the two that'll be wearing the vest. All right, that's all I'm saying. The Man Show, Keegan says the Man Show hosts seem to be the type that calls airsoft milsim, military simulation, and then whines when he gets shot. I'm just saying. Show for Men. The challenge is issued. Rob Lonzo v. Diesel, Mark Ryan in an airsoft battle. We have a willing service provider who will get us geared up, put us in a legit arena, and let us go live so the world can see and experience your humiliation firsthand. Zoe, I'm about to cut a promo.
I am curious if you'd be willing to throw a promo up on the website or something, asking who cries first out of the four of us.
I will cut a 30-second show promo that is just a wrestling promo calling out the host of the Show for Men that we will run every hour inside of their own damn show, Lonzo.
Which I can make happen. See, here's the problem. I'm sure he's scrambling right now. He is trying to figure out a way to
get out of it without looking like he's getting out of it.
But here's the problem. I've worked with him for a couple years, and I know that he flaunts his supposed athletic prowess. So why not take the opportunity to show the world to back your words with, I mean, he and I have done some videos where we did the bottle challenge and things like that. And it made a big deal that he was better than me at that. So why not? Let's take it to that next step. Let's go live. Let's do this in an arena, a closed arena. I mean, what more could you ask for? And it would be very entertaining, even if, one of us were just to fall down and get pelted with a lot of airsoft pellets, which could very well happen.
Show for Men, consider this the official challenge. Rob and the Great One versus Mark Ryan, not Ryan, and the D-Train, 2v2, airsoft, best of 5. Ryan says, I will be there personally every weekend as a ref. I will get you guys set up, briefed, and run the matches personally. We have an impartial referee now. I'm just saying.
Will Diesel go shirtless though? I'm guessing Diesel, to prove his macho, would go shirtless.
I bet Diesel shows up in like the full length Under Armour spandex, all black. He's not going to be playing. I'm pretty excited.
Got the face paint on, all that kind of stuff.
Rambo style.
Why not?
Rambo style. Oh yeah, let's go. At ESPN, text line 71307. Start your text with ESPN at ESPN. Hell no, I don't want to watch y'all lard asses. That's why you're on the radio.
Is this the same guy from earlier?
Probably.
More than likely.
Probably. Let's see. In fact, I have to go back and look now. No, it's not. It's a different guy calling me a lard ass. Beautiful.
So my question is, because I've never seen this kind of arena before. So are there sniping positions? I mean, so can you be tactical, or is this just full on, guns a-blazing, or is there
Camping is for cowards, Lonzo. Camping, and I guarantee you, I know which one of the four of us will absolutely put his back in a corner and hold a spot, but camping's for cowards.
Yeah, I'm just curious because I haven't seen this. So do you start on one side and they start on the other side, and there are places to hide and places for cover?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's what I'm envisioning. That's what I wanted to see.
It's just like paintball, but with little plastic pellets instead. All right. Let me.
So the ability to climb would probably be a good thing.
I'm assuming most places I've played, you're not allowed to climb on top of the obstacles.
Okay.
I assume that would be the same for us.
So wait. Why do we have to follow rules?
Because we have a ref who's doing, listen, I want to beat them at the game so that there are no complaints. All right. I want to smoke them in the way the game is played so that there are no crying on Monday when they have to come in and announce that Rob Brown and Lonzo have showed their superiority on the air. I'm just saying. All
right. So I can't jump from the top of an obstacle and scare someone so bad that they fall down blubbering, and then I just go boom, 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 boom.
I don't know about you. I ain't jumping off of anything. All right. These knees will blow up. And they'll still whoop the show from in.
Oh, I'll give a knee for that. I'm good.
All right, I'll give it. I will sacrifice a knee. Signs are now pointing, Lonzo, to a trilogy between Poirier and Conor McGregor. The lightweights tied 1-1. Even the score out earlier this year when Poirier stopped McGregor in the second round. Both fighters have expressed interest in a trilogy bout next, but nothing has been formalized. However, at a press conference yesterday before UFC 260, Dana White confirmed plans for a Poirier-McGregor rubber stamp match. When asked about the matchup, Dana said, quote, Dustin, he wants the rematch, and that's smart. That's what he should do. He should take the match, take the fight. It's a big fight for him. The kid has worked his whole life, his whole career to be in a position like this, and that's the fight you take. We've been in positions like this with others, and they made the mistake of not taking the fight, and biggest mistake of their lives, end quote. White said he predicts somewhere around July, quote, makes sense, end quote, for the trilogy, but did not reveal any other details. So Dana has now gone ahead and confirmed what Poirier has said, which is that UFC is intrigued in a rubber stanch Poirier v. McGregor match. Zoe, level of interest 1 through 10.
10 for sure, because and I agree. Some other fighters have made the mistake of not doing this. You have to do this with the publicity that you're going to get, and you want to prove that it wasn't a fluke if you're Poirier. And if you're Conor, you want some revenge. You want to prove that you are really back and you weren't just there for a payday. And so, yeah, you got to go rubber match here. One of my favorite rubber matches of all time was Stipe versus Cormier. I know there were belts involved, but still, I mean, I was up for each one of those. I'd be up for this, and I'm sure both those fighters are going to do this as long as Conor stays good and stays in the UFC and doesn't retire again. And he said he wants to fight 3 more times.
Yep.
Why not have 2 of those be against Poirier?
844-GSP, ESPN MMA fans, are you in for a trilogy? We'll get the final match likely between McGregor and Poirier coming up in July. Fingers crossed. Let's take a break. We'll come back here in just a minute with Twitter trending topics. Zoe tells me what's trending on Twitter. I give you 30 to 45 seconds about what I know about it. And if I don't know about it, I make it up. That's next on The Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your Amazon or Google smart speaker. Just say, play ESPN Upstate.
All right, Lonzo, here you go. Here is a look at an actual airsoft match. Is the video playing? Yep. Oh, he's doing his live stream or his live read. All right, let's get this forward to where these boys are actually going. There we go. Once it's done with the live read, let's see. There's plenty of cover. We have a Thunderdome 2-story building. Oh, this is going to be great. It's going to be a great day. Plenty of cover. Thunderdome 2-story Thunderdome building in the middle. Hookset says, if I could drive the hour and a half just to see that. I love it. I love it. Justin says, when you guys win the airsoft duel, make the Man Show host do a whole live show in Sting and Ultimate Warrior face paint. Oh, man, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Let's see. Keegan says, I sent you I saw the video you texted me. I'm gonna send it to Zoe afterwards so he can see what we're looking at. But I want him to see the full video. Ryan says, I live in Spartanburg, working in Anderson on the weekends because I love it, so I know the drive sucks. Yeah, doesn't matter to me. You telling me I only got to drive 45 minutes to put some stun down on Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch? You better believe that's happening. 100%. 100%. Just got done helping Steph Roberts move to Fort Walton Beach. Haven't looked at my phone in a while. Holy pick draft trades, Batman. Yeah, Brandon. Wow. We went from a nice chill day to NFL draft chaos and paintball. Here you go, Zoe. You may want to full screen that because this is what it looks like. Now this looks like 6v6. Yeah, this is what it looks like. You see how you saw that, Zoe? You see that the stream coming out the front of that guy's gun? Can't hear you if you're talking, by the way.
Yeah, I was looking at the entire thing. All right. All right. Yeah, I see it.
It's no joke.
That's a large fellow right there.
Yeah, there's some big boys that play this game. Look, he's going like tactical reloads.
That's a portly gunner right there, and he's all right. Not a lot of movement there, but he found a good spot.
Got the tactical position. You got all your angles to the right covered, angles to the left covered. He's shooting down at the team. You got this guy watching that way in case they try to make a push down the left wall. These guys know what they're doing.
I'm guessing these guys are probably also gamers and probably have a team that, plays.
Sure. All right, let's see. We're going to skip ahead just a little bit here. They're kind of holed up in this spot. They're playing capture the flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, see this big boy back here. That's what I'm gonna look like.
Yeah, I got you.
Cover fire. All right, that guy's been eliminated, so he's out.
All right, some of the dents in the wood.
Some of these are no joke, bro.
Some of the dents in the wood are that's a little disturbing. Yeah, that's a little worrisome right there.
These guys are playing with I'm sure these guys are playing with equipment that costs hundreds of dollars easy. Here we go. A little more action. Got your cover here. Yeah, moving the cover. Cover each other's back. Looking left, looking right. Got some action over there on the far side.
See, the bad part about this video is you're seeing them shoot, but you're not seeing who they're shooting. And I would like an overhead view. Kind of a sky cam view would be nice.
See if you can see where he gets eliminated.
So how are you eliminated? Just by getting shot?
Yeah, you get shot. So the way that we used to play, and it is an honor system, but the way we used to play it, and Ryan, if you're still watching and you can kind of clear this up for us a little bit, the way that we used to play was if you got hit in the arm, you could keep going. If you got hit in the leg, you became stationary, so you were down. You could keep playing in cover, but you couldn't move from where you were.
So you're basically wounded. Okay, all right, I get it.
So that's why, and I'm not saying that this is right because I never played like the way that those guys in that video were playing. But for us, if you got hit in the leg, you were stationary. If you got hit in the arm, you could keep playing, but you could only use the arm that was still good. If you got hit in the chest or the head, you were done. But we also played headshots were not allowed. I mean, obviously they're going to happen, but you could not intentionally go for the head. If you got hit in the chest, you were dead.
All right, I'm willing to bet if that show for men were to agree that the headshot thing will be a point that they will make that they don't want any.
As long as you use cover, even the big guys can be effective. Oh, that's my game, man. That's my game.
So what's the difference between using cover and being a sniper? Because you're kind of doing the same thing. I guess snipers are hidden, but it's the same concept.
Well, even if you're using cover, you still need to be pushing forward. Let's see. Rob, the big Rombrowski play-by-play is top notch. Yeah, I've never done play-by-play for airsoft before. I may have to step into that world. Hook says 2x4s are softwood. Yeah, they are. Still not easy to put a dent in them. Ryan says our rules are that if you are hit anywhere, you are dead and need to go to respawn. All right, that'll work.
He also said headshots are fully allowed.
Did he really?
Yes, if you look further down.
Oh, he sure did. Oh, Mark.
He's not going to do it. He is not going to do it. We can insult his manhood. We can come at him a bunch of different ways. All right, we can't get him to do it, but you know who could?
The listeners.
The listeners could get him to do it.
Those of you that are going to be sticking around until 3 o'clock.
All right, we're coming back.
I need you to spam the text line demanding Mark take us up on the challenge.
And now, the Rob Brown Show presents Twitter Trending Topics.
It is Twitter Trending Topics time where I tell Rob what is trending on the internet, and he will tell us what he knows about it. But before we get there, I think we got to throw the challenge out there again. I know we can get to some Twitter Trending Topics, but Airsoft, your boys versus That Show for Men. We got to do this. And there's only one way that we can make this happen. You, the listener, have got to bombard That Show for Men with, we're all macho here. So one way to do it is insult manhood.
Oh, peer pressure.
Yeah. And so we're counting on you through text, through social media, through phone calls to put pressure on That Show for Men to accept the challenge that we have put forth.
Don't let up on them all 4 hours. Don't let up. Let them know the challenge has been issued. And if they're not going to take it, I want them to verbally and audibly say on the air, we do not accept that challenge. I need it. This is not a just let it stall out till it goes away. Say no if you're not going to step up.
But here's the problem. If you're the show for men accept challenges, don't they? That's what men do. That's part of being a man is stepping up and going, yeah, I'm the man here. I'll do it.
I will be listening to all 4 hours of Mark's show. Don't let me down, listeners. Y'all, listen, if y'all could text his show yesterday to make fun of me for being a fat Teletubby, then you can text his show for this, all right? All right, let's get some Twitter in here, Zoe.
All right, the first thing trending is Mighty Ducks.
The Mighty Ducks is trending because the Mighty Ducks, what's it called, Game Changers?
Yeah, don't play any of it, though.
No, I'm not going to. Have officially dropped on
Disney Plus.
That's right. And by the way, I don't know if you saw it, but the LA Ducks actually wore the old vintage Mighty Ducks jerseys in their game. Was it last night? Kind of cool, man. Kind of cool. I'll be watching it this afternoon. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be good. They brought back a lot of the OG Mighty Ducks. Averman's back. Julie the Cat Gaffney is back. Who's it? Adam Banks is back. By the way, how weird is it to see Fozzie from Daredevil rocking the Mighty Ducks jersey again? Love it. Love it. Yeah, I'll be watching it this afternoon. We'll have a review of that. I'll probably do a review of that over the weekend, as a matter of fact.
All right, the next thing trending is Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch trending. Surprising. I know that her and Seth had their baby not too long ago. I'm going to assume, because I did see earlier somebody put it in my timeline, Zoe, that ESPN is doing either a poll or a list of the 50 greatest female superstars of all time. I am going to assume that Becky Lynch, I'm guessing off the top of my head here, if it is a list or a poll, Becky Lynch is going to rank somewhere between 3 and 6.
All right, so it's WWE put up the top 5 women wrestlers of all time, and let's go from 5 to 1.
Okay.
Number 5, Asuka.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. For a while, Asuka was the hottest thing out there. She was undefeated for a long period of time, and right now they're having a problem. Well, not anymore, since Rhea Ripley's going to be going up against her, because they didn't really have anybody to go against her and challenge her. All right, number 4 is China.
I'm good with that. I'll be interested to see who is going to be higher than China, the ninth wonder of the world. I mean, she was the first. She was the first. Well, not the first. She was the most dominant wrestler who was a wrestler.
Absolutely, and she could hang with the men, and you wouldn't question it.
No,
when she was in there at her biggest, it's like, wow.
China could throw.
All right, number 3 is Becky Lynch.
Oh, okay. I nailed it. Becky Lynch was a great wrestler. I mean, she was a phenomenally talented wrestler. But Becky Lynch was the closest, and Zoe, you may get, and some wrestling fans get mad at me for this. Becky Lynch was the closest we've had to a Stone Cold character since Stone Cold.
Well, I didn't, and will not like Becky Lynch because she only got successful when when she said she was the man, and she's not the man.
She was the man.
She was not the man.
The man is a metaphor.
She's as Charlotte said, she's maybe the woman, but she's not the man. Everyone knows who the man is. Number 2 is Charlotte Flair.
Too high. I love Charlotte. Charlotte's phenomenal. Charlotte's too high.
That is ridiculous. She's the most decorated women's wrestler of all time.
Because she Ric Flair. If Charlotte Flair wasn't
don't
Charlotte
do that.
Flair,
don't do that.
If she was Charlotte Smith, she would not be there.
This is only because I questioned your love for Becky, and so you're just challenging me with that.
True.
All right. Who you think's number 1?
Trish. I don't have to think about
it.
Trish Stratus.
Trish Stratus is number 1 in that thing. And I can't believe that you think so little of my friend Charlotte Flair.
I love Charlotte Flair, but she's very good, but I'd take Becky Lynch ahead of Charlotte. If Lita's not on that list, she's 6. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree. Okay. She should be. I'm surprised she's not in there a little bit higher.
Do we have time for one more? No, we don't, because instead it's time to help you win $1,000 to become the 5th person from ESPN Upstate to win $1,000 in the $1,000 cash dash. This upcoming hour's keyword is snow. SNOW, snow. Text that keyword to 72881, 72881. Text and data rates may apply. It is the $1,000 cash dash on ESPN Upstate, powered by BetQL. Let BetQL's proven data and analytics help you become a better. Download the BetQL app today. Text SNOW, SNOW, to 72881 for your chance to win $1,000. Offsides with Mark, Ryan, and Diesel is up next. Make sure they know that we want to kick their behinds in a little airsoft. We're back Monday. Have a great weekend. Don't drink a job. I'll punch you in the face. The Rob Brown Show's on ESPN Upstate. Later.
ESPN Upstate.
On the stream. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. To Brandon and Ryan and Keegan and Hookset and everybody else that chimed in. I appreciate you watching. And Ryan, we'll be in touch, buddy. We'll see y'all later. Have a great weekend, everybody.